While the Arab states are focused on becoming pillars of regional stability and world commerce, Iran's leaders are focused on stealing their people's wealth to fund terror and bloodshed abroad. Most tragic of all, they have dragged down an entire region with them. Countless lives were lost in the Iranian effort to maintain a crumbling regime in Syria. Look at what happened with Syria. In Lebanon, their Hezbollah proxies have pillaged the hopes of a nation whose capital, Beirut, was once called the Paris of the Middle East. Can you imagine? All of this misery and so much more was entirely avoidable, absolutely avoidable, and Mohammed knew that.
Want to get it off your chest? You're in the right place. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? Heard in every state in the Union and 1,000 cities around the world. We just finished 16 years of broadcast excellence, now in our 17th year. The Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. If Donald Trump doesn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, don't worry. The United Arab Emirates gave him a beautiful one of their own, a gold plate. Trump has brought in over $3 trillion in deals and is close to the whole Middle East in toppling wars. An American-Israel-Jewish love fest. Christians included. Everyone who isn't gobsmacked by this needs to blow into a breathalyzer to determine whether or not they are alive. This is a major turn in history. Thank you, God, for delivering this man after multiple assassination threats. Even the Democrats that aren't speechless are beginning to see the light and are shocked. Kudo mode in praise of Trump. There are a lot of financial experts with a plethora of warnings about Trump destroying the country, the price of eggs, inflation, the stock market, Elon Musk, Tesla, Doge, while still threatening the president's life. Right up to yesterday, when former FBI head James Comey put some rocks together on a beach that spelled out 8647. And for those of you in Branson, that means kill Donald Trump. Yes, this was a clear threat to Trump, who was still overseas, and his family in America. We all need to pray for the president and his family's safety. And praise God that allowed this spectacular man to literally turn to peace from war, from hate to love, from fog to clearness. Amen.
Yet I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think. I don't like permanent enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. Enemies get you motivated. In fact, some of the closest friends of the United States of America are nations we fought wars against in generations past, and now they're our friends and our allies.
Okay, we're on the show. We've got a great guest, and one of them just showed up early to have a little chat with me, and that's J.J. Bradshaw, sitting right across from me. He'll be on shortly. Rabbi Moshe will be calling me this morning. I think he's in the States, isn't he, by now?
I'm sure he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he'll be at 8:40. Chris Adamo, 9:30. And Jeff Zink got a lot of stuff to tell us, a lot of stuff of his experiences in almost being the next HHS assistant secretary, right next to Robert F. Kennedy. And AOC said an interesting thing the other day. Oh, and by the way, well, let me welcome my wife here. Well, that was not good for me. Hi, darling. You look great today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have graduation tonight, so
yes, I know. Thank you. Yes, what graduation, honey? They I know they think I'm in high school, but what graduation is this?
Carter's the I guess be third to oldest grandson.
Yeah, he's graduating, not from the third grade though.
No,
he's graduating from high school. Correct?
Yes.
Well, how would people know this?
Very good.
How would people know this?
Graduations are usually,
Well, sometimes they're college, sometimes they're kindergarten.
Okay, well, it's a good thing you found this out before you go tonight.
Thank you, because I have to be prepared for everything. I got to prepare myself, and we got J.P. Maxwell, the producer of this show.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Along with Rick Hendrick down there in where's he at? He's in Salem, Missouri. That's where he is.
I think that's where Rick Henderson
I'm sure
lives.
he's. Huh?
I think that's where Rick Henderson lives.
That's what I said.
Oh.
Did I call him Rick Henderson or did I call him Hendricks?
It was close.
Hendricks, yeah.
Did I call him Hendricks?
Yeah.
Again?
Like the guitar player. So maybe it's a compliment. I mean,
You were close.
He knows what I mean.
Call me JJ Carafano. So
I did. Come on. All right. So I got a little what's going on with what's his name? Biden? God, that's sad. Anyways, yeah, I'm getting old.
Don't even mention
I'm getting old, dang it. But I'm still here and I'm still relevant. Thank God. Keep it going, will you? Okay. So anyways, AOC said illegal immigrants do the jobs that Americans don't want to do. Trump said, yeah, like voting for Democrats. Okay, is that great? I stole that out of X. And now we have an early start, so let's get started. Oh, by the way, did I mention everybody? Yes, I did. Let's get started with a man who is 256 years old. You got a birthday coming up, don't you?
I do. So do you.
Well, yes, November. Are you in November?
June.
All right. Well, you're coming up closer than I am.
I'll make sure I tell you when we hit 257. That's kind of a
milestone. Just keep telling me because I'll forget it.
Yeah.
The next moment. What's your name, bud? All right. Anyways, this guy is a expert. First of all, he's an expert on the Second Amendment and the First Amendment and the rest of the Constitution. And he's an ex-military guy, and he is also goes way back in time. 256 years old. He was there at the with George Washington and Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson just before the Civil War. Not the Civil War, but the Revolutionary War. Please welcome all the way from Rolla, Missouri, John Jeffrey Bradshaw. Hi, JJ. I got you a whole minute extra.
How many guys do you know that carry the Constitution in their pocket?
You know what? I need to start doing it too. What is the Eighth Amendment? That's what I'm interested in right now.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you. It's double secret probation.
You got to shoot me first. Or...
Yeah.
All right, what's going on?
This has been such an extraordinary week. You mentioned AOC. Let's just talk about AOC
Yeah.
for a moment. There are folks in the left-wing Democrat Party that suggest that she is the next nominee for president of the United States. Now, Dave, we've got a pretty smart guy in that office right now. And what a letdown that would be if AOC would be in there. We're talking going from an IQ of 100 to an IQ of 47. This is not a good thing in the executive branch.
You think Trump is at 100?
Nah.
He's probably about 170 or so.
He has surrounded himself with some brilliant people.
Yes, he has.
And some very active,
That's part of the
brilliant people.
brilliance.
Indeed. Reagan did the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. And, I love to watch the Democrat Party fall apart at the seams. That is just enormously entertaining to me. And to suggest that AOC might be their front runner, come on, guys. Surely you can do better than this. You could do worse than this. What do you say we nominate Hakeem Jeffries as the VP? As long as we're having a clown show, we might as well get two big clowns.
Yeah, could well be. Well, Joe Biden and Kamala.
There we go.
That was a classic.
We're talking a combined IQ of 100. This is an amazement to me.
Exactly.
A lot coming down about Joe Biden, too. Tell-all book hitting the book stands.
These guys are all saying, we didn't know this. Oh, BS.
Give me
lying SOBs.
Those of us who are the man in the street, and that's you and me, knew about it.
Sure. So
you're telling me the folks closest to him didn't know about this?
Well, and I knew his history going back when before 2020. I knew what Clarence Thomas said about him during the hearings for him to become a judge. I think it was 1993. And he says, I didn't understand what the hell the guy was saying. I really didn't. Same thing that Trump said during. He says, "What did he just say?"
When it's pretty bad.
I didn't understand a word of it.
It's pretty bad when the ex-first lady has got to step in and tell the audience what you meant to say.
Yes,
because the words falling out of your mouth are just a jumble. They don't make any sense.
What do you mean? What did you mean by that? I'm just kidding.
What did I mean by
the
that?
jumble?
Please, a jumble.
I didn't understand it. Okay.
So watching the Democrats fall apart is just wonderful to me. And I've got another one for you as far as the DNC is concerned.
Yes.
David Hogg is co-chair of the DNC.
Did they boot him?
They kicked him out. They said, we had some problems with the election. There are women of color who could have been voted for had the rules not been aimed at David Hogg. So they kicked him out. They're going to have another election. So I suppose.
And it better be, it has to be a black woman. I'm serious.
These are the Democrats.
They will have to have just a black woman there because that's what they're saying.
It's more than that. If they're checking off boxes, it's going to have to be a black, DEI, homosexual, 18 children with 18 different fathers. If you're going to check off boxes, now finding a woman like that, I don't know how you're going to do it, but
I don't know. That's a little extreme.
Well, maybe,
but they have now. See, they're going to call this racism, but the racism isn't from us. The racism is from the left because they're ideally cutting out racial and intelligence and people that may not have. I mean, DEI includes people who could be air traffickers that don't have the intelligence of a warm dog. Okay, they don't know what they're doing, and yet they put them in these positions, and you got people dying left and right, or train problems to this day
within the Democrat Party. If your only criteria for success as a co-chair is to be a black woman, haven't you excluded all of the rest of the population?
What do you need? What do you need a party for?
Aren't you participating in the worst form of racism?
Yeah.
And this is the banner that you're going to. This is the hill you're going to fight.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. somebody in that party has got to have enough intelligence to say, whoa, wait a minute. We have strayed so far from what we initially were 200 years ago. The Democrat Party today, John F. Kennedy couldn't recognize it. He'd be considered a conservative in today's Democrat Party.
Well, 200 years ago, they were all slave owners, weren't they?
Well, of course.
Okay.
So were the Republicans back then.
Well, yeah.
That
I mean, it's part of the history of the country.
Indeed.
And so it's not a good thing about it.
No.
Of
but
course.
why would we deny our history?
That's a great point right there. Why should we? It happened. Okay, we still have a statue of Washington somewhere. Mm-hmm. We still have schools named after Washington, and we have plenty of people that are honored on the fight against slavery.
Yeah. And Jefferson was a slave owner as well.
That's right.
This is part of our history, and to deny our history does a disservice to every citizen in this country. We should be teaching this stuff and teaching it in such a way that says, we don't ever want to go here again.
There's still slavery throughout. There is still slavery throughout the world. Still, and Donald Trump is on a mission to get people off of this kind of life, to prevent them from having the chance to do as well as others. He's opening it up to everybody, and the Democrats are closing it down to one black DEI motivated woman.
They're whining.
And they're whining.
Losing. Dave, they're losing. Everybody that looks at this says these people are sinking.
But here's the problem with AOC. She's a good speaker. She just doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
You've told me that before.
It's garbage.
She can read a teleprompter. Hooray.
Well, no, she has the ability to deliver speeches that sound good, but you listen to what she's saying, and they're the stupidest things you ever heard.
It is empty.
It's empty. Yeah.
What a damn shame.
But she says it's so good.
But this is today's Democrat Party, Dave. Is it any wonder that conservative ideas are flourishing?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the opposite, you look at what the Democrats are standing for today, it's stupidity. It's rolling the clock back to something horrible in our country. So your policy now is let's be racist. Let's only pick black women. That's all there is. That's all we're going to have. This is the worst form of racism.
But I will say this: it took a Donald Trump to make it really apparent.
He's making it stick.
This man is guilty of 34 felonies.
Oh my!
Okay, that's what they did to him. Okay, and look at what he is now. What a recovery!
Yes. I have not touched a single thing in my notes yet this morning. We're halfway done. Let me knock off some stuff about the Democrats.
Well, go ahead.
Some of the stupid things that are happening
in
this country.
You don't have time to do it all.
No, I'm just hitting the high points. There's a whole lot below that. Sherry Tonarthi, a Democrat from Michigan, had filed articles of impeachment, 9 of them, against Donald Trump, and was trying to get this shoved through the Congress, trying to shove it into a vote. His own party has shot him down. Now, this all occurred behind closed doors. I'm not privy to any of it, but I'm sure someone took him aside and said, look, bozo, now is not the time. This is the most popular president we've had in decades, and you're going to make us look like idiots. Beyond that, the guy is being primaried by his own party. A fellow named Donovan McKinney is running against him, trying to get this guy booted out of the Congress. Well, good. I'm glad. This is no longer the era of the Pelosi's that can shove stuff through. You got a little voice like Sherry, and his party is saying, we're not doing this. This makes us look bad. There's not a chance in the world of this thing passing. Never get through the Senate. Just shut up. Go back to being a congressman if you ever were one. So, that's the Democrats beating up on themselves. Let's talk about Trump for a minute, because this little whirlwind tour of his is setting the Middle East on its ear. No president of the United States has ever done what he has done in a tiny little amount of time.
About, 4 or 5 days? 4 days or so?
Yeah. Now, of course, a lot of this negotiated in advance. Okay, I get it. But the fact is, let me just read some stuff from Qatar. $243.5 billion. That's a lot of zeros. That's 9 zeros.
Qatar is very much a terrorist state.
It is. They have supported terrorism.
And yet, he's going to turn that around. You see,
Well,
he's going to get these countries into the Abraham Accord, and they're going to actually be in there with Israel, and they're going to actually recognize Israel as legitimate.
They're going to have diplomatic ties with Israel.
Hello,
This is bound to
this
happen.
is why I say this is historical stuff going back almost to the beginning of time.
Mhm. Let me tell you the philosophy that I believe is going on here.
Okay.
If you consider Iraq and Iran, we fought big wars there, trying to give them democracy or representative republic, if you will. And they're not suited for that. Tribally, ain't going to happen.
Right.
That was a foolish mission on our part.
Sure.
What Donald Trump recognizes is these Arabs are going to be Arabs. They're going to be tribal. They're going to be whatever they're going to be.
Right.
Let them be.
Sure.
If we can steer them a little bit towards freedom, hooray. How are we going to do that? With commerce, with close ties.
Capitalism.
The Saudis.
Did I say that word? Capitalism.
Saudi Arabia, $142 billion in arms and training so that they can actually defend themselves.
From who?
Because of the clowns in Iran.
There you go.
The Iranians they're the elephant in the room.
Yes, they are.
Their own Arab associates don't trust them. They've got lunacy running their country, a theocracy that is just out of control.
And the people there hate them.
That pretty much, yeah.
They love Israel.
The Persian people were so much better.
Yes.
Back when the Shah was the dictator there.
Sure.
And
he would have been making a deal with the Shah as well if he was still here.
If he was still around,
Sure.
yeah. One more thing, $96 billion from Boeing, 210 jets. Now, Boeing's got their own problems, okay? They got
I have to make an announcement that I bought Boeing stock about a month and a half ago.
Buy it while it's down. Hell yes.
I did. It was down.
I would too. If I was so inclined, I would. But Boeing's going to come out of this. There's been enough bad PR that they're going to get themselves steered back on the path.
The reason I bought it was that they're the only go-to manufacturing of planes and jets and things like that, and military,
commercial,
in America,
military,
in the world.
Military, you've still
got all the contracts.
You've got Lockheed. They're still out there. General Dynamics, or as we used to call
Lockheed
them, General
is not the passenger.
No, they're
planes.
military.
They're all military, right?
And
Boeing is everything.
Boeing's got all the rest.
And they got, and as badly as they were run, I believe they're turning it around. Hopefully,
well, they have to.
Yeah,
the stockholders like you are going to demand that they be a profitable.
I wrote them a letter. I says, if you don't demand, I now own this company, or at least
a piece of it.
And if you don't do this, I'm going to come kick you out, and I'm going to run Boeing the way it ought to be.
There we go. This is very Donald Trumpish. You did a fine job on that.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now we have to.
No! Don't stop! Come on, stop! Come on! Stop! Oh, golly! All right. I'll pay you overtime. Shut up.
If you're going to be Trumpish, you're going to have to grow some hair, and we're going to have to dye it orange, so we can say orange man bad.
I have to grow some hair or nuts?
Some hair.
Did you say nuts or hair?
No.
Hair. Okay, sorry. These things got to get fixed.
How quickly this degenerates when he opens his mouth.
Okay. Shut me up.
Syria. This is the same little whirlwind tour. Now, what went on behind the scenes in Syria, I'm fixing to tell you.
This is amazing.
Trump he met with Ahmad al-Sharaa, whoever that is.
He's right now the king of Iran, king of it.
He's the big
of
guy.
Syria, right?
This is the first time since Bill Clinton in 2000 that a sitting U.S. president has talked to the Syrians. And what he has said is this: it's time for you guys to stop doing what you're doing. And if you stop doing what you're doing, we have considerable commercial benefit that will benefit your country. We're going to have diplomatic ties with you. It all looks pretty good. It's the same sort of thing that goes behind the scenes all the time. There's always a but at the end of that. Done in quiet,
right?
Done face to face. But
you turn on us.
If you guys decide that you're going to violate these treaties and you're going to turn on us, or you're going to start beating up your neighbors, we're going to unleash the gates of hell on you.
Yeah.
And you need to be aware of this. Not public. This is between you and me in private. You really need to not screw this up.
Well, he's got the same deal going on with Iran, but he's telling them, what he did in Syria, he dropped the tariffs that were already on there that I think Biden put in. Okay,
yeah,
he dropped the tariffs.
Obama had
the whole state of Syria is now in joy of having to have more money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that he's trying the same thing with Iran, and guess what? He's going to get it because Iran is in a very, very open spot and easy to deal with, and they know what's going to happen. And it's going to be quick, too.
They have seen the sanctions.
Bingo.
They know how badly it bankrupted their country.
Right.
They don't want that again.
He'll do worse.
The same words were used with them, I'm sure, behind closed doors.
Oh.
If you guys screw this up.
He said it today. I mean, he said it today or yesterday. I mean, I've got his quotes on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
The point is, this is negotiation on a level that we haven't had a president that negotiated like this ever.
They would never ever understand how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what attracted me to him, was the fact that he's a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you live and die by what you do. You know, he almost went bankrupt once.
Oh,
he did go bankrupt.
He's been bankrupt.
Yeah, he's been bankrupt, but he never gives up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but the politicians live in a completely different world. They don't understand what the hell he's doing.
They do.
They don't. They can't figure out how did this happen? You know?
So these guys are number one. He beats them up.
Yeah.
Take Iran, take Syria, take anybody he's negotiated with. He beats them up pretty thoroughly first, and then said, "We can stop this. We can make this. You and I be friends. You and I trade. You and I can make some money at this if we only do these things."
Yeah.
And he got their attention.
Oh my God, you're double talking again.
In getting their attention, nobody has negotiated like this. Biden, not capable of negotiating anything. But Obama before him, who was not a bad negotiator, the trouble is his goals were all wrong. Remember the apology tour?
What kind of negotiations are that? America sucks, and we're here to apologize?
Pretty much, yeah.
We're here to lay down. We're here to bow to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump's not going to do that. He's never done
Let's
that.
put it this way. Obama had the ability to do it, but he in no way and in no sense was going to not do the mission of what he really wanted to do, which was destroy America.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and he did it pretty effectively.
He was, and Biden was his choice,
his buddy,
and Biden went over what the damage Obama caused, way over.
Yeah, but look who was pulling the puppet strings on this thing.
Yeah,
because Biden was a sock puppet. He's not capable of
any. Who was it?
Well, Obama's pulling the strings, but it's a Marxist cabal within our federal government.
That's right. Where did all these people come from?
Well, they came out of the Obama regime.
Bingo.
Of course. We're talking Saul Alinsky all over again here.
Right. Are you listening out there? Huh, Chris?
Serious.
Adamo?
Seriously.
is going to be on in a couple of, we'll be talking about that too.
Adamo is right.
Yeah.
I've read both of those books multiple times. What Alinsky preached is what the left is doing.
Exactly.
Word for word.
Right.
And what Adamo published refutes all
How to
that stuff.
defeat
how
the
to defeat
radicals.
them. And you know what the Dems have been doing for years is just redefining things.
Yeah.
You change the definition, and people are stupid enough that they'll say, "Oh, yeah, okay, we live in a democracy."
Well, DEI
No, we
on
don't.
its own, if you just don't know what the letters stand for, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh no, it's disgusting.
How about BLM, Black Lives Matter?
Also,
that's really
disgusting.
cool. Let's put it on our mound out there in Cincinnati and St. Louis. Let's put Black Lives Matter, and nobody else's lives matter.
How about we paint a street
How many
in
people
Baltimore?
are sitting in the stands in St. Louis compared to 10 years ago, for God's sakes? They're gone. The fans don't want to hear that crap.
They don't want
They want to see a ball game, and they want to be in a safe area, a safe city, a safe downtown where they're not going to have their cars stolen.
As long as you're talking about St. Louis.
Yeah.
St. Louis has little islands of safety.
Yeah.
Around the Fox Theater down on Grand. The most
Yeah,
heavily patrolled piece of land in the state.
Really? I didn't know that.
The cops are all over it down there. Why? Because that is a tourist destination.
Yeah.
It has a population of folks that are coming to see concerts, coming to see films. They don't want the headlines on KMOV saying, well, another 3 people got mugged down on Grand Avenue.
Well, where do you think the arch is? Where do you think the ballpark is?
This in downtown St. Louis, of course. There are little pockets that
they don't have.
heavily
They don't have the
patrol.
St. Louis cops out there.
No,
they got
not anymore.
Huh?
Not anymore,
Yeah.
because the St. Louis cops have been taken over by the state.
Right. So they got the guys coming in from outer counties to be the cops.
I hadn't prepped for this, but the fact is you've got these little islands of relative safety around the Fox. Now, you don't dare walk a couple of blocks away from that because you're in serious ghetto and you're going to get mugged.
Yeah.
But you got these little pockets. St. Louis has been ineffective at doing that. That's why the state took them over. I'm sorry, but your police force is ineffective. It's corrupt. It's useless.
Well, they're subject to the politicians there.
Well, yes. These are the same politicians that beat up Pat McCluskey and husband.
That's right.
The very same.
Yeah.
Okay.
A member of actual United States Congress did that.
As a matter of fact.
Cori Bush.
Plus.
Huh?
Former member now.
Yeah.
Former member now. Too bad. So
Cori
sad.
Bush. But the mayor of St. Louis was complicit in that as well by not stopping it.
Sure.
If you are the mayor of a city,
Well,
you talk to
they're
the
all
police.
complicit. Anyone serving the city, supervisors, as people in the representation of public with in Congress in Missouri. We've got a couple that come here all the time, and Don Mayhew and Bill Hardwick.
But these are the conservative folks.
I know, but they have to deal with the problems up there with the other people.
But if you look at outstate Missouri, we're plum red. We are.
Yeah.
You got a little pocket up here in St. Louis that's blue, Columbia, blue, Kansas City, blue, Springfield, blue. But the rest of the state, solidly red.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, outstate California. Now, you consider California a bastion of moronity. Moronity? Is that a word?
Moronity. It is now. No, it is now.
Yeah, we made
Give him
that
applause. He just made up. No, you made it up. Moronity. New word.
No, if you look at California, San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, bright blue. And outstate California is as red as you can get. They're as red as my neck. The trouble is there's not enough of them to outvote the morons in the population centers.
Well, there may be soon. There may be soon.
It's the same thing in Missouri, though.
I mean, Ronald Reagan once got elected there, and it was pretty Democrat then too.
Yeah, but not as drooling, rabid.
And he was a Democrat, I believe, at one time.
He converted,
Yeah.
He converted.
So was Donald Trump, by the way.
I understand.
In New York.
But
and
he was never a Nancy Pelosi kind of Democrat.
No.
The man was always reasonable.
Yeah.
Can we talk about SCOTUS for
Sure.
a minute? Do we have a couple of minutes
Yeah,
left?
go ahead. What the hell?
Supreme Court of the United States of America has got some pretty serious things they're fixing to decide. Number one, the Alien Enemies Act. We had a federal district judge named Stephanie Haynes who has declared the Tren de Agula as pirates and are subject to the Alien Enemies Act. It's going to be in front of SCOTUS here pretty soon, but as it stands right now, yeah, you can deport these guys.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
What do you mean, no nothing?
No due process.
No decision. No decision yet.
No due process for the time being. Yeah, you can deport these guys. It'll be in front of SCOTUS.
And if they change it, guess what?
What?
Trump will deny it.
Well,
Trump will say, "I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
What are you going to do to me?
Probably.
And you know, he is the executive branch, and the executive branch does not have to do everything that the Supreme Court tells them to do.
This is the so-called constitutional crisis that the Democrats
it's not in the Constitution. Exactly.
It's not in the Constitution.
Exactly.
It happens I have a copy here.
And you know it, and so do I.
So, okay, let's talk about birthright citizen, because this is the one that's going to blow up in their face.
Yeah.
Birthright citizenship. If you read that clause, it says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Are illegal aliens subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America? They are not. Their loyalty is to their home country.
Right.
At least temporarily. Now, the birthright citizenship thing by itself is not a big deal, but the federal district courts that have issued injunctions that are nationwide injunctions are a big deal. And that's why this is sitting in front of the Supreme Court. Let's look at the structure just for a minute. This is Article 3 of the Constitution, how our courts are settled, how our courts are stacked up. We have district federal judges,
a lot of them,
that are the bottom end of the federal judiciary.
Right.
Above them are circuit courts, typically of appeals, and above them the Supreme Court.
Right.
That's the hierarchy, okay? By the way, that's not mentioned that way in the Constitution. That is the way this thing has evolved into the current system. So, do you let a judge who is at the bottom end of the food chain issue injunctions that are nationwide?
Yeah.
What he should be doing is issuing injunctions that apply only to the parties that are involved locally.
That's true.
That is as it should be.
It's not. That's not. Neither of those are in the Constitution.
They are not.
But that means it's unconstitutional for these judges to be telling the whole country what to do. They're pretending like they're presidents.
That is exactly why this is in front of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because depending on how the Supremes react to this thing and how they vote, remember there's 9 votes there. It's got to be 5-4 or better.
That's right.
I think the Supremes are going to say, federal district judge, you're at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
You're a single individual. On the circuit court level, if you do en banc, you got 3 circuit court judges. 2 of the 3 have to agree for an injunction to be withheld at circuit court level. So you're giving the guy at the bottom of the food chain who has the absolute least amount of stroke the capability of offsetting executive orders done by the executive branch, by the commander-in-chief of this country. Yeah. It's wrong, isn't it? It smells wrong. It looks wrong.
Well, it'll break up the whole country.
You know, ultimately,
who's going to be running the country?
Well, some judge
as.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have every county have. It would be a complete, utter killing of this country.
It turns the country into chaos.
Chaos, right?
And of course, that's what the Democrats would like to have is chaos.
Sure.
They thrive on that.
Well, they're in it. Right
I
now.
think the way this is presented to the Supremes is ultimately very important, and I think it is currently being. Let me get the guy's name. Solicitor General D. John Sauer has made a pretty good argument, oral argument so far in front of the Supremes, that says what you and I just outlined. This turns into chaos, and we have little dictators in federal judge positions that are dictating policy for the country, at least de facto.
Even dictating what the Supreme Court is going to do.
So
now,
how are the judges going to vote on this thing?
5-4.
Probably 5-4.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And all 4 of them are going to be women.
Well, we'll take 5-4, Dave.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
I think ultimately the Supremes are going to vote on the side of Donald J. Trump in that district court judges shall have power only in their district, not nationwide. You cannot issue nationwide injunctions, which violates separation of powers.
You can get stuff changed in the Constitution by voting it in, can't you?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if that is necessary, then that needs to be done.
But without the support right now, that would not happen because you need a multiple.
Ain't going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court is going to be ruling against themselves.
Well, they're going to be ruling against the district courts.
Well, they're going to be ruling against, if they let this through, they're going to be ruling against what's in the Constitution.
Indeed. And recognize that what's in the Constitution is very basic. All of this stuff has evolved from those relatively simple concepts that are written in the Constitution. Yeah. So this is a big deal. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this again next Friday, that what the Supremes do on this is going to have a considerable impact on how our country is run.
Yeah.
And I think the executive branch needs to have all the power they can get, at least in this regime. So anyway, that's all I got, Dave.
Okay. Well, the rabbi is late.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, we can adjust for that. As I give him my phone, I'm so excited you're here. I forgot to give him my phone.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, but sometimes he gets the time mixed up between Israel and, like, he's probably in New Jersey or maybe Miami. Who knows? What a life.
I get to see him on Sunday.
Well, let me just we're going to see him on Sunday, 3:00 at the Light and Life Church. Is that correct, honey?
Yep, Pastor Pat's church.
Yes. And anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to unify in what a great job and what a great man this is. You know, he is a star of TikTok. The younger generation listened to his stuff, and he got almost 28,000 hits on TikTok. And he's all over YouTube, and we're on YouTube, and we're on TikTok with a lot of the shorts from this show. And go look at it under Dave Weinbaum's name, and we can discuss that sometime. But my son Aaron did that because he knows how to do it, and I really don't. And I'm trying to learn stuff.
Who would have thought a redneck from Rolla could get that kind of stuff?
Yeah, but you're a good man, redneck or whatever neck you got, baby. And I appreciate you. And let's hear it for John Jeffrey Bradshaw. All right, we're going to go to commercial right now. If you want to sponsor the show, 573-578-2700. Thank you. We'll be back.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor, and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper. Fresh savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have. Gotta reach 'em, see it right now. Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we've got all the perks of a national bank, like online banking, quick loan approval, and you can deposit your check from your phone. But that's not why our customers love us. They love us because we still offer hometown customer service. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly team remind you how special hometown banking can be. We're locally owned and will take the time to understand your needs. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
All right, the rabbi ain't here yet. If you can hear me, Rabbi, get your butt on the show. And he's flying from Israel, and maybe the skies. You got the rabbi is flying next to Trump coming back from the Mideast.
Who knows?
Yeah, and so maybe they were delayed because of that.
There's also some severe weather throughout parts of the United States forecasted for today, so there could be weather delaying flights and all that too. So not sure.
Yeah. All right, well, it's interesting. So we're trying to find the rabbi. If you see a rabbi out there and he's a good-looking Jewish guy say, hey, call the Weinbaum Show. He's waiting for you.
Matter of fact, his picture is right there on the back of
his
book. So
we're doing his book. So. Hey, while we're here, do what's the name of the book? Tell them the name of the book.
So this one here is The Last Buffalo in Kansas.
Yes, that's The Last Buffalo in Kansas. That's my friend Bob Willis. It's really the story of his family, but it's a history of his family when three sons went to the United States in the 1830s, 1840s, and I think it was 1853 actually. And he was named the major character was named after George Washington Willis. Mm-hmm. And it's on sale. It's out now, Amazon, and buy the book. Golly, this is
the link to the book in Amazon where you can purchase it. It's actually in the comments now. So if you click, it takes you right to it.
Okay, and this is a good friend. He's got a lot of books out there, children's books too. But this one is the work of his life, basically. That is the history of his family, which is a great history for a movie someday.
Right.
And
I didn't need to make a quick announcement. We're on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and normally we're live on Rumble. Rumble is having an issue with their live stream this morning. So after the show is over today, the video will be posted, but the live stream is not working right now. Rumble's having some kind of issue. So it'll be posted after the show is over.
When they get arrested?
So here's what the rabbi looks like in case anybody sees him.
Yeah.
Here's your announcement.
Hey, this man is missing right now.
Do you want to read this?
Yeah. Rabbi Moshe Rothschild he's inviting us to a meeting at Pastor Patricia Maxwell's church, City of Light and Life Ministries, and it's Rabbi Moshe Rothschild, which now I'm thinking of posting a missing person thing on because he's supposed to be right here right now.
Yeah. Okay. Give him
the So he just replied and let me know he's having issues connecting right now. So I just asked him if he needs to call in. So
yeah, call in. That's fine.
Read the details for you.
All right. Well, I mean, I can say something here. Sure, call in. 573-578-2700.
3:00 on Sunday.
And 3:00 on Sunday. I'm confusing everybody now. I'm trying to talk to the rabbi.
You can't read.
Well, I was doing it backwards. Okay, yes, thank you very much. I'm dyslexic. There he is. There we go. All righty. Well, I hope this is who I think it is. Is this the rabbi? We were just putting out a missing person announcement. Where are you?
It's me.
Well, where are
I've been spending 5 minutes trying to log in. It's not working. I don't know why.
Log in what? Oh, the really? All right.
Yeah,
sorry.
Because I think it thinks I'm in Israel, and so it thinks it's a scam. And so every time I log in, it bumps me out. It wasn't working.
Well, there it is, the scam issue. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. Okay. Where the hell are you?
I am in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And
so
I am
Tulsa?
On the way to Missouri.
Are you Tulsa?
I am in Tulsa. Correct.
Okay. All right.
I'll be spending Shabbat in St. Louis.
Well,
and then
great.
Coming to you on Saturday night.
Okay, that'll be terrific. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you like you haven't known this all these years. He has been the official rabbi to the Dave Weinbaum Show for at least 16 years. He's a wartime rabbi coming to Pastor Pat's church this Sunday. We read you the material, and you can look at it where?
It's all over Facebook. As a matter of fact, I saved an image of it, and here in a little while, I'll actually be able to put it on the screen so everybody can see it. So
he has created a strong alliance with Christians, Jews, blacks and whites, Asians, everybody, and he is he's always welcome. And I would like you to welcome him to this show, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. So let's go down. Go ahead. What?
I say you got a big crowd there today.
I got extra people in because of you, and you almost didn't show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you are. Just show business, and I realize it's not your fault. So Trump may want to deal with Bibi to have Gaza under shared control with Israel, like Beirut used to be in the 1970s, 1960s, before the terrorists took the Christians and moderate Muslims out. So, what do you think of that?
Well, I think it would be a great idea. Right now, for the last 20 years or so, it's been an absolute disaster.
Yep.
So I love this idea. I think it could be great. We're making a very, very big push now militarily, and hopefully we're going to have some big news today. I have it on good authority that something big is happening, but it's not yet in the news. So there's your scoop of the day.
That's not a scoop. Something's going to happen?
Well,
something happens every day. I get up, I go to the bathroom. No, that's not worthy of this show.
Well, all right. Well,
give me something good.
Something is. I know that something major is going down in Gaza. I can't say specifically, but it could be a game changer. Like you had the beepers, that was a game changer. So.
Yeah, but is there anyone there that represents Hamas these days? Is there anyone still alive? You killed the other Sinwar.
Yeah, I think with Hamas, when they wear those masks, a lot of those guys are 15-year-olds.
Yeah,
they don't have much left.
Yeah. So who would you be dealing with? Who's going to represent Hamas?
I think they're out of guys.
That's what I'm saying. You're fighting a ghost, maybe. I mean, the ghosts of recently killed leaders of Hamas. There's been one after another, and the same thing in Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Yeah. So it's been a process, but I think we've made a lot of really good progress.
So,
and I'm hoping with Trump and with Trump's willingness to help in Gaza, to help govern maybe, and to help take it over, there could be something big.
Now, is he? They were saying he's coming back to the United States, and he was originally going to go to Turkey to monitor the talks between Zelensky and Putin. But neither of those guys are going to show up apparently. So he's coming back to the States. And but have you followed what he's been doing in Saudi Arabia and Qatar?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Of course I've been following. But first of all, also Dave, I don't know how much it made the news, but he also signed the deal with Zelensky, the mineral deal.
Yeah.
That fell apart. They did sign the deal in the end.
Yeah. But a deal with that is great, and he better start right now. Well, I don't know. I mean, but that's kind of moot right now, unless they have a actual ceasefire and a truce, and maybe even a submission of what Putin's going to get and what Zelensky's going to be able to hold on to.
Right. I think he's moving super fast, Trump. It's very hard to digest all the moves,
isn't it?
He's doing so much.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this though as you probably do too. It's really a historical break from almost all of history. It's never been.
Look,
Jews been fighting there for 4,000 years. Okay, and they've been fighting each other for centuries and 10,000 years ago, there everybody was fighting each other. For goodness sakes, this could reverse everything since then. I mean, this is like it's God given or something. This is a real miracle compared to all the little miracles you guys just had in Israel.
Right, and he's pushing Syria to join the Abraham Accords.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia. These are they're game changers. Hopefully there'll be progress.
And the scary one, which they're all scary, but we're talking about Iran. He's talking with them. They're going to sign up, I believe.
Right.
They've got nothing better.
Yeah.
They're done.
Right. We don't know what the deal looks like that he's offered them. So
we
just hope that it's good.
I think it's going to be pretty good for Israel. I think they're not going to screw with Israel after this, and I think it's a good idea that you actually want Americans in Gaza. They're going to do such a job there. It's going to be a new, like some of the best beach property ever. It's going to be very popular.
Look, it's a great piece of land,
Yes.
But they spent $15 billion on building terror tunnels, but it's a great piece of land.
Well, you can put museums down in the tunnels or something, but they can build it up.
Build a subway system.
Build a subway system. You can do whatever you want to. But the key is if you put Americans there, they're not going to attack them. That's for sure. And they're not going to attack Israel.
Yeah.
And if you put people in Syria after they make a deal there, they're not going to attack them. Nor in the Abu Dhabi and AO whatever it is. AO, huh?
Yeah.
Emirates and the Emirates and everywhere, and they're going to
all. Dave, you think
what?
I was going to say, maybe Dave, you could get a McDonald's franchise in Gaza.
Sure. I'll be 99 when that happens. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the advice, Rabbi. You got to give me better advice than that. Yeah. And anyhow, it's a miracle. This is a huge miracle, is it not?
Yeah. It's the changing Middle East, and things are moving fast.
Do you think God is involved in this? How is God involved?
He's always involved, of course.
I know he's always involved, except sometimes you wonder why certain things didn't happen, and I guess they happened for a reason. Either it's our fault or God is giving us a message somehow.
Well, look, he doesn't consult with me.
Why not? You're a rabbi.
So he doesn't really consult with me.
I thought you had a license to consult. Isn't what a rabbi is? What about my wife here? I mean, she's a minister. I mean, don't you have a license to talk to God and him respond? I thought that's the way it worked.
Well, I can talk to him.
JP's mom talks to God. He talks back. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. Suddenly you don't want to talk about it. I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I will tell you.
Yeah.
You know, Dave, I'm traveling a lot now. You know, I'm with my son. We're traveling. When we landed in the airport, we went to get our luggage, and at the luggage, the carousel, there was this woman standing there, and she fainted, and she fell onto the luggage carousel. But it was okay. She came around slowly.
Oh, God. You know, the judges in Israel and the U.S. Are so corrupt that citizens in both countries want them charged with jury booty. We're starting our jokes a little early here.
Yeah, I know, but I've been waiting all week to tell you that one.
Oh, okay. And then Ben Cohen, here's a little.
It was a. I guess you could say it was a premature ejaculation.
Oh God! I don't know if you can say that on here. Could you say that on here? I don't know. Are you supposed to be able to say that? Maybe that's why we're off of Rumble. I don't know. We're on now, though, right? Oh, okay. See, you got us kicked off of Rumble. That's not good. So, have the Houthis and the Blowfish, have they been gutted?
Yeah.
So they're
done.
They
actually they fired 2 missiles at Israel yesterday. There was
that's what I saw.
But
yeah, but they're pretty well beaten down, right? And that's part of Yemen.
I don't know. Yeah, they've got nothing left. I mean, we destroyed the airport.
Yeah.
What else are we going to destroy? You know, they're just gonna.
Well, they're going to empty. They're going to try to empty out their all their ammo they got from Iran.
Yeah, at some point they'll run out. They're just literally looking to destroy their own country.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ben Cohen of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream was arrested while protesting the United States. There is no cherry in his sundae.
Okay. He was arrested. Wow.
He was arrested. Yeah, he didn't have a cherry to hang over his sundae. Go ahead. It's funny. Stop it. What are you questioning me for? He's sitting there laughing, and he won't push the button. Okay, you can sit down out there. You're getting plenty of overtime today. For God's sakes, you're gonna break me. All right. So Trump wants to meet the Pope. I wonder if God would watch that meeting. What do you think?
I don't know, but you know, this Trump is trying to restore the greatness of America. He's doing such a good job. I mean, even the Pope is American.
Wait, he's from Chicago. That's where I'm from. He's from Chicago.
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
Oh my gosh,
he's a White Sox fan.
Yeah, and I'm a Cubs fan. His brother is also a Cubs fan. His brother is a big conservative. You know, they're Italian. Forget about it. You know, a lot of the popes are Italian, or were. Well, I don't know if they are. They were. They get them from all over the world, but this is the first American pope. So
somehow I think he should have been a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, I mean, there it is, right there. You know, the Cardinals probably could have had that deal. That was a good one. That was a good one.
You missed it.
I didn't miss it. I was saying, no, that's a good idea.
That was good. And as noted by Rabbi, he's also not a Cubs fan. He's a White Sox fan. So that Pope's got a couple legs up here, which he normally wouldn't have otherwise. So
why do you like the White Sox so much?
I don't like the Cubs.
Oh,
so at least he roots for the White Sox.
I was a Cubs fan. My father.
Everybody's flawed. It's okay.
I think I got to go see 1959 World Series. I got to see that, and I got a ball. The 1959 World Series.
Wow.
I was 11 years old, or I was 10 years old.
the White Sox lose like
4 games?
They lost 120 games last year.
Yeah, they were the White Sox were the worst team in baseball last year.
They're really bad. I had a cousin that used to work for him.
Right.
Yeah. Anyhow,
well,
what? Okay, what else you got?
Shulitz Jones. I think Pete Rose is going to get the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I've been watching
Joey, the Black Sox.
Yeah, that's right. And Pete got reinstated. He's dead now. If you look, he was betting. He was betting. Was he betting on his own team or just other bets?
Yeah,
allegedly he was
betting on his own team,
and so that's why they kicked him out. Is what they claim. Yeah.
Yeah, but
which I have my own opinion on that with baseball, but we don't have time for that today.
All right, that's right. We'll do it another day. We'll do it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Sergeant Igor Pisney. Does that ring a bell? He was called by his wife about the 10/7 attacks. He went out by himself. He killed 13 terrorists on his own, but he was so mortified by it, he just committed suicide. So I just...
I saw that.
Yeah.
Story. Yeah.
I mean, it's still got to be such a horrible thing what's happened.
Yeah. There's a lot of PTSD, and unfortunately, what some of these guys saw have led to a lot of suicides. Yeah.
Yeah. And how is your situation with the moms and the widows? How's that going? The rabbi has managed to create living areas for the widows and the children of IDF soldiers who have been killed. So how's that going?
So we had a day this week that we sponsored, and feedback we got during time.
Why is your phone going crazy? Are you calling from a phone?
Bad signal.
I think we're having signal issues wherever Rabbi is.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, I can't hardly hear you anymore.
There we go.
Do you hear me? Okay. She's not gonna.
He's out of range.
All right. Are you driving?
I think so.
All right, Rabbi, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I can't hear you anymore. If you want to call back later in the show, you're welcome to do so. No extra cost. It'll be free. All right, so Rabbi, let's hear it for Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. Thank you, Rabbi. Bit of a struggle, I understand. And let's play. We got to do something funny here.
Real quick.
Yes.
Give me just 1 second here. I think I was able to save the image of the new poster that Lisa made for
good.
the visit. So there's the information right there on the screen.
Okay, good.
For this
Great.
Sunday. And
all right.
That way everybody can make sure.
Well, leave that up there for a little bit, all right, if you don't mind.
I also reposted it on your page.
Okay.
And I'll pin it to the top.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's great.
Had to do a digital.
Now
file.
I've got to sneeze. Okay. Of course, I've got to sneeze. Can you play something?
Well, again, this is just a reminder that Rabbi Moshe is coming to City of Light and Life Ministries this Sunday at 3:00. Address is on the screen. After that, there will be light refreshments, but he always gives a great update on Israel and always has usually a historical, significant story and other stuff that's just really interesting to hear. So I definitely encourage everybody to be there if they can.
So the USA and China, here's the other big issue. They've struck a deal. Everybody was saying, you got to get out of the market. You listen to all these people. Sorry, I was going to sneeze and I put my mic up and I forgot to put it down. Okay, so I put it down and you can hear me now. But we have this deal where all these experts. I watch Fox business news a lot. Maria Bartiromo is a favorite, and so is the guy that follows her, the Englishman. He's real good, and they get a lot of really top experts.
Stuart Varney,
thank you. And these experts are telling us, get out while you can. This is a terrible market. We're going to have a huge recession. But I've lived for a while, and if you live for a while, you remember the one that happened under Ronald Reagan, right?
Well, and I'm in a class right now where we have a guy who's teaching us about stock and other investments and like how to get your finances in order. He said right now, buy. Buy, because eventually it's going to go back up. Take advantage while the prices are low.
So everyone was the other few people that were willing to stand up and say, "What are you talking about? This is not a big deal right now. He's trying something new. People are a little, upset about it, and there might be some inflation coming back." And jobs might be lost, but it's going to be okay. Just wait it out. Now, I would even went a step further, and when they were having some horrible days, within a day or so, I would buy a few things. I would buy stocks that I already had, and one of them was NVIDIA, the other was Planeteer, and I don't mind saying them, but you ought to look this stuff up now because I think it's showing upward for a while. It's going to be upward for a while, and we've already recouped what we lost. So you ought to go where the AI is. Quite frankly, I've got 4 of the 6 stocks that create a lot of it, and I've had them for a long time. A lot of them. We're talking decades. Okay. So if you're familiar with the teachings of Warren Buffett, and you're familiar with how, and understand holding on to something long term, if you bought, for example, in the early 1970s, bought Walmart and 9 other companies, let's say you put $10,000 into each company. And all 9 of the companies that you bought at $10,000 went down the tubes. They bankrupted. And you had Walmart back then, you wouldn't even notice the $90,000 that you lost. You wouldn't notice it because it's a whole different highlight. The highlight is that the stocks that you buy, not sell short, but they actually buy and hold, they can go nowhere, but either whatever you bought them for, they can drop to that. If you do 10,000, you lost 10,000, all right? But the other end of that is going up. And I learned that early. I used to be a guy, I'd get in there and I'd buy a stock, it's up $2, I'd sell it. And then I started noticing, now it's up $10. Now it's up $15. And I'm saying, what the hell did I just do? And I figured it out. No, that's a fresh tip from Dave Weinbaum here because I'm decent at this, okay? I'm fairly decent at it. Rico Camino, good morning. He is a good friend of Rick Henderson. And Rick Henderson is related to Rick Hendricks somehow. I don't know how, but I actually wrote a check to him as Rick Hendricks once.
So,
yes.
Do we have time for a quick legislative update?
Well, yeah, make it quick though.
How quick?
Well, get it quick. You can't just sit there reading boring stuff.
The legislative system.
Huh? By the way, Patricia, Odin Maxwell, sounding good, looking good. Go team! Thank you, Pastor Pat. Go ahead.
Okay, so legislative session, Missouri House of Representatives is finished for the year as of yesterday.
Oh, good.
Good news is HJR 73 was passed, and it is to fix Amendment 3. So going forward, that will be placed on the ballot.
Oh,
okay, so that's
a big deal, guys.
And then they
wait. What is Amendment 3? It's really the abortion bill.
It's the abortion bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge news. Yes.
transgender.
You gotta vote to get rid of this.
Transgender changing without knowledge, abortions without knowledge. Anybody can perform it. There is no liability. You can't sue anybody.
Right.
Anyway, then there was a bill passed to fix or eliminate Proposition A. That was the one about the earned paid sick time. You earn 1 hour per 30 hours worked, no matter what job you're in.
They changed it?
They have overturned it with this, and also it affects the minimum wage going up to $15. So they have killed that, and the sick leave will be eliminated August 23rd, I believe.
Dang.
And then they also voted to prohibit foreign spending in statewide ballot measures, which we have had a lot of things passed.
That is great.
Because of foreign spending interfering with our elections.
People interfering with our elections.
That's correct.
Which was the number 3. That a lot of people out there without living here who were trying to push probably a lot of them in Planned Parenthood.
So we want to thank our representatives.
Yeah, Bill Hardwick and Don Mayhew.
These accomplishments.
They were both. Do we have Bill Hardwick's speech still from last week? Let's play that. Let's play that. Wow, that's so cool.
The distinguished gentleman from Pulaski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, to speak on the bill.
Proceed, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, last year we had the Amendment 3 debate in our districts, and many of you did and made our positions where we were. And in my district, I argued vociferously against Amendment 3. Tried to put up signs, I did town halls, I did debates, and everywhere I went, I said that my conscience and my beliefs about what was right and wrong believes that this should not be in our Constitution. And everywhere I went, I said, even if it does pass, because it's such a core belief that I believe in, I'll fight to repeal it. I'll fight to take out what I think should not be in the Constitution and replace it, which I think we should uphold, which is a principle and a value of life. So I did that to the utmost of my ability, but my district still voted to approve Amendment 3 at the end of the day. However, at the same time, my district voted to re-elect me by 71%, knowing that that was a central position, and knowing that I even said at many town halls, I'm willing to lose my seat, even if it costs me votes, in order to fight against Amendment 3. So I got elected and I'm back here now. And if I ask the question, what do I do? What do I do with this choice that I'm presented, where I have this contradiction between what the voters voted on and what I said that I would uphold no matter what if I were elected? And so what I'm left to do is do what I truly believe in. And I want to describe what I believe in, first of all, as something I believe in math and logic. And here's a principle in mathematics and logic, that if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. It's called the transitive property of equality. It means if one thing's equal to something else, and that's equal to something else, they're all equal. And why is that relevant to what we're talking about? Because if any human life at all is worth protecting, is valuable, means something, is not just nothing in a nihilistic universe, if any of our lives matter, then all of our lives matter. Or the other possibility is none of our lives matter. Logically speaking, there are just two things that could exist. Either none of our lives are important, none of our lives worth protecting, or every single life is worth protecting. And I believe deep down inside, to the chagrin and the disagreement to many of my colleagues and people around the state, I believe every single life is worth protecting. Whether you have a disability, whether someone has Down syndrome, no matter what their race is, no matter whether they're a Republican or Democrat, every human life, and yes, I believe, is a gift from God. And I don't know why tragic things happen and horrible things happen, but I know that I believe that life comes from God and God wants us to live. And I think that my duty here in this place is to do every single thing I can to protect life and uphold life. And I think that the mother is a human life and the baby is a human life. And our duty as legislators is to protect both of them as people who have equal worth and value, just like everybody in our state. And so this bill comes before us. It's the opportunity to do what I said I would do and do what I believe in. And so it's easy for me to vote yes. It's easy for me to vote yes for that precept and that principle. And it's been said, I think it's been said on the floor, you guys will just keep fighting, you keep going for it. Yeah, if something you truly believe in is that important and matters that much, as what we say about all human life. There's nothing more basic and important and central as to whether or not any one of our lives matters. I think a lot of us are not here holding our nose voting for it. I think a lot of us are here for this very reason. It's why we ran for office. It's why we came to the legislature, to uphold this basic principle that every human life is important and that every human life has equal worth and value ontologically, and that there's no higher good than us protecting that and defending that. And so I hope everyone will vote for this resolution. I know I certainly will. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, this man is on the show a lot. He is a good friend. He's become a good friend. And I'm listening to this thing. He says he did that Acapulco. What is that?
Acapella.
No, don't play the song. One tequila.
If you
two
saw the
tequila,
video, he was on the floor, the legislative floor. Not in Acapulco.
Yeah, I had drank a little wine.
So
recently.
I think what you're going for was acapella, which means he was playing without.
They knew all.
They
knew that. Yeah. Everybody in the audience knew that.
No, he did that without a script. He just did that from his heart, and
he did it from his heart. And what does that tell you about him? If he's running and some rhino out there is running against him, or a Democrat, I'd vote for him every time I could. Okay, legally, obviously, but. Here's a guy that's got a real good future. He's I think he just turned 40.
Close to it. I think him and I are about the same age. I think he just might be a little bit younger than me.
He is a he's in the National Guard. He went to Iraq and fought there, along with Pete Hegseth there. Hegseth, yeah, and so he's good. I mean, he's good. I don't know. Does he have the comparable genius Donald Trump? I don't know anyone that does, quite frankly. But he's in that mandra of stuff that he really gets it. Ray Maddox, good morning, Ray. How you doing? That's Roy, isn't it? Roy. Yep. Joseph Dalton. Good morning, crew. Hello, Joe. How are you? Ed Martindale. Trump was awesome. He knows how to handle them. You put out the hand of friendship out first. If they bite the hand, F-A-F-O. What does that mean?
Probably
can't say it.
Probably don't want to.
Yeah. And normal human beings do not want war. And very good, Ed. I appreciate that. That's a good comment. Shannon Reed, good morning. Good morning, Shannon. I heard you sold your house. I saw that on Facebook. Patricia Oden Maxwell, great job, JJ. See you Sunday at City of Light and Life Ministry to see and hear Rabbi Moshe at 3:00 p.m. I hope he keeps the phone he called on somewhere else. You know, he ought to burn that thing.
Great thing is he'll be in person. He won't need the phone.
He had a phone burner opportunity. He probably could have done it. All right, so let's do Reagan and let's do Carlin.
Okay. Get Carlin going here.
Give me some water.
What do you think you have an immune system for? It's for killing germs. But it needs practice. It needs germs to practice on. So listen. If you kill all the germs around you and live a completely sterile life, then when germs do come along, you're not going to be prepared. And never mind ordinary germs. What are you going to do when some super virus comes along that turns your vital organs into liquid? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get sick, you're going to die, and you're going to deserve it because you're weak and you got a weak immune system.
He was called in by his editor and told of a fire that was raging in Palos Verdes. That's a hilly area in the southern part of Los Angeles County. And the photographer's assignment was to rush down to a small local airport, board a waiting plane, go out and get some pictures of the fire and be back in time for the afternoon edition. Well, he raced down the freeway, broke all the traffic laws, got to the airport, drove his car to the end of the runway, and sure enough, there was a plane revving up its engines, ready to go. He jumped in the plane shouting, "Let's go," and they were off. At about 5,000 feet, he began getting his camera out of the bag, told the fellow flying the plane to get him over the fire so he could get his pictures and get back to the paper. And from the other side of the cockpit, there was a deafening silence. And then he heard those words he will always remember. "Aren't you the instructor?"
Oh, that's good stuff. And right there, on time, we got ourselves our next guest. And he's a good-looking man, and we ought to now get to his page. And wait a minute. Where's his page? I guess you can't be on because I've lost your page. Anyhow, this man is born in Wyoming. Yeah, there it is. Born in Wyoming. Chris is so talented. Well, we're holding up his book. You want to say what his book is?
Hopefully they can hear me. It's Rules for Defeating Radicals.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my publisher here. My what do you call yourself? Whatever, producer. Yeah, he's a producer. I want him to get as many words in as possible. We pay him by the word, so I'm trying to get him up a little bit. Yeah, no. I control this. I didn't hear a word you said. Turn her mic off. Chris is so. I know. I hear them a lot in my sleep. Oh God, don't do this to me. Oh God, don't do this. All right. Anyways, Chris is so talented that he is in demand to run for governor of Wyoming. He has already changed Wyoming to a better place. Please welcome and now he lives in Missouri. I don't know why. I think he's trying to find me and hurt me. Let's hear it for Chris Adamo. Chris, how are you?
Well, good morning, Dave. That was kind of an unusual intro there. I'm in Missouri, but I'm running for governor of Wyoming. No, I'm in Missouri. I'm reaching out to Wyoming. I'm actually reaching out to Illinois to help the grassroots conservatives and your genuine conservatives, your Freedom Caucus people, to fight the rhino establishment, which means fight the leftists too, because the rhinos and the leftists are all one and the same. We can sure talk about that this week. So yeah, sure. That's what I'm about.
Well,
how are you doing?
But you have such a great presence in Wyoming, having been born there and eating all their pizza.
Having been bought? I'm not a Democrat. I haven't been bought.
There? I mean, having been brought up there.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's
you're always looking to trap me.
No, well,
no, I know you are.
So we have James Comey this week making a death threat against President Trump, and he's still walking the streets. And yet, what you just said there, 2 years from now, the FBI is going to show up at my door and say, we have evidence from Dave Weinbaum that you've been bought by the political machine in Wyoming, and so you're going to jail. See, this is how it works.
Oy vey. You've got to stop drinking late at night. Please.
I know one rumor after another. Now I'm a late night drinker.
9:30 in the morning, but at least you're on time. But, you got to sober up a little bit before the show. Come on, man. What did you have? Did you have a big pizza or something like that? You had to wash it down with a lot of booze?
Another rumor? Now, here you go. I want you to know that the last time in my life that I ever had anything alcoholic, it was a little tiny sip of a liqueur that came from Israel. There's an organization that it helps Israel by they send these packages off around the world, and we've been getting them. They've gotten a couple now, and they are great. And so yeah, they had this liqueur in there, and it was like a peach liqueur or something unusual like that. And I had a little tiny sip. Okay, so that was I was not out drinking, binging, eating pizza last night. So that's another rumor we need to dispel.
Now I need to change what I said and say, maybe you ought to start drinking. Anyways, does President Trump deserve a Nobel Peace Prize? I think he does. I mean, and I don't think there's any question to it. What he's done in such a short period of time is he's changed the whole damn world.
I'm going to qualify that. I'm going to qualify that with one thing. If Nobel Peace Prizes were actually what they had been originally intended to be, yes, he would deserve it. Okay, well, now let's look at some of the lunatics.
I didn't say he's going to get it. But does he deserve it?
Does he deserve it? The modern Nobel Peace Prize has gone to people like Yasser Arafat and other things like that, and it's become a joke. Like everything else leftists get a hold of, it's become a joke. So on that basis, I would say no, Trump is better off. He's better than the Nobel Peace Prize. But I get your point. The things he's accomplished have been absolutely amazing, given especially that he's been doing it with so little help from our dead Republican Congress, and we can talk about them. We can talk about rhinos and why I go after rhinos, looking at our Congress, looking at our Senate, and all the things all the ways they drag their feet again, just like they did in 2017, to keep him from accomplishing what he wants to do. He's been doing an amazing job. It's for the betterment of America. By the way, the stock market is really rebounding. You don't hear much of that. It dropped because of all the scaremongering right after the tariffs, and yet he's put in America in such a much stronger place economically, and we're starting a real rebound, and nobody's talking about it.
Well, a lot of people were conned into thinking they had to get out of the market by all these experts.
Exactly.
All these experts talk. He's ruined the economy. You got to get out. You're going to lose all your money. And
a bunch of those experts
to him, I bought stuff during this troubling time,
and that's what you should have done. Yep,
because I've had this experience before.
Right, and every time things start looking better, you're going to hear them turn up the tenor of all the scaremongering, because the worst thing, and just think about what it means that the Democrat Party, the worst thing that could happen to them is for America to do well. And that's not just under Trump, that's under Obama or anybody. If America does well, it's bad for the Democrats. Okay, what does that really say about their party and their ideology?
They hate America, obviously.
Absolutely.
And they've hated them for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the latest issue being Barack Obama. The Clintons were basically greedy, SOBs.
Oh, no, they were good socialists. They just cared about the little guy. Just ask them.
Yeah. Right. And so you haven't had Reagan actually cared about the country, wanted to protect,
and they trashed him.
And exactly. But how are they going to crush Trump? They can't. So now they're talking again about eliminating him. The ex-FBI head. How about that?
And let me just give you something here.
47. Wow.
He makes the statement. He didn't know what that meant. He just saw some rocks on the ground.
What it meant, for goodness sakes.
And what that is, that would be perjury on top of all of his other crimes, because he darn well knows what that is. Remember Jasmine Crockett? She's that lefty in the Congress, and she's just
could be your next president.
Yeah, right after Bernie. But she made the statement. She referred to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, because he's enforcing the border too. She referred to him as Governor Hot Wheels. Now, why did she do that? He was in an accident a few decades ago, and he's in a wheelchair. Okay, she comes out and says, "Oh, I didn't mean anything about the wheelchair. I just meant that he's putting people in cars and driving them across the border." They'll come up with any idiotic nonsense. Like a 4-year-old that you catch in a lie. They'll make up any excuse to try and change the subject. And that needs to be held against them as well, because what they prove is you cannot trust anything that they say. They will tell you any lie in the moment. By the way, it's see the book up here? It's out of my book. Leftists will make up any lie in the moment to try and win the argument, and then they'll completely reverse themselves 2 minutes later to try and win the argument. Hypocrisy is not a problem to them. Lies are not a problem to them, because their agenda was founded on lies.
Sure. So you got any thoughts about the plane that Trump was given, like this $800 million plane? The only thing I'm thinking is that he was mad at first at Boeing, and now all of a sudden we realize this was built by Boeing. Okay.
Yeah. That's one of those ones I honestly.
I went and bought some Boeing stock too. I'm a happy guy. I mean, somebody said that to me. He says it's about the only airline passenger company, plane company in the United States, and very few of them in the world. And also they're into the militia, the military selling of planes and boats and stuff like that.
Well, Lockheed used to make a commercial airliner,
but they were run terribly. They were run terribly. A lot of DEI in it and mistakes, doors being blown off and stuff like that. But I think they're going to recover that, and I think they're in the process of doing that.
You can hope, because I'll tell you what, Boeing also was involved with what they were planning to be America's next generation of space capsule. And it was such a disaster. It was the reason that those astronauts were left up there for 9 months, because they couldn't safely bring them back down to Earth. And of course, the Biden cabal wouldn't actually put forth the effort to get Elon Musk's spacecraft up there to actually rescue them. So we had to wait until after Trump was back in office to fix things, to clean up the dumpster fire that the Democrats caused, again, in space as well as on the ground.
The Biden administration, they completely shut down that rescue mission.
Yep.
You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. And you know what I compare that to? I compare that to Benghazi, because the Obama in 2012 there, when he's running for re-election, he abandoned the whole situation in Benghazi because he was running for re-election, and if we had to fight the Libyans, it wasn't going to look good. So he just sacrificed those people, no second thoughts. This was the exact same thing where the Biden cabal, and it wasn't Joe Biden, I always want to emphasize that, but the Biden-Harris crowd, the Obama-Harris crowd, they thought, if Elon Musk rescues these astronauts, it's not going to look good. So they left them up there. They don't care about the individual. They don't care about people. You're nothing more than an aborted baby to be thrown in the nearest dumpster the minute you're in their way.
Let's talk about the abortion issue. Did you know that I just played a bit from Bill Hardwick? They have reduced amendment. What?
3.
Yeah, they're going to appeal Amendment 3. There's going to be a vote on it.
I saw that, and
he gave such a great speech. I just played it before you came on.
Please keep replaying it, because Missouri needs to hear it, because I didn't see that portion. I was doing my own show prep here. The whole Amendment 3 thing and the way these referendums are done around the country, it was a scam on the people of Missouri. Okay, what happens is you have multiple millions of dollars that suddenly pour into the state from all these pro-aborts around the country. And we can go back to, where'd they get all that money? Well, they got it from USAID and things like that.
Planned Parenthood.
Where does Planned Parenthood get its money? They get it from government funding. They get it from killing unborn babies. So they pile all this money into Missouri at the last minute, and they run this totally deceitful propaganda blitz for this referendum. It barely passed, and we can talk about that at greater length if you want. But the legislature knows that, and it's a conservative Republican legislature. They know that if the people are properly informed, they would not want anything to do with what that Amendment 3 actually had to do with. It was passed under a false banner of all these, civil rights and every other kind of thing.
False advertising, and it was funded by outside money outside of Missouri.
Absolutely
and
right.
Bill Hardwick made an amazing speech. I'm sure that had a lot to do with it getting recalled. And there's the amendment. There was another amendment that passed. I think you talked about it, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. Amendment A. What was that?
I'm not remembering off the top of my head now.
Yeah. Okay.
Did it have to do with Medicaid?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. But
because that's another scam they're pulling on us. right now.
Amendment A would stop all the outside money from coming in to vote on Amendment 3s.
Okay, that would be good.
That's going to be in the ballot too.
And that should be, if you remember campaign finance reform on the national level, John McCain figure out every which way to stop you and me from donating to these campaigns, right?
Yeah.
And yet the big corporate interests and stuff, they still had every backdoor means of putting the money in there. So what was it doing? It was attacking the First Amendment.
Right.
Okay. And things like what you're describing here, I'm glad Missouri's conservatives are taking this on.
Yeah, say that.
That was the other thing that Bill talked about, was that they're working to have it now where you can't have outside people from outside the state of Missouri putting money into campaigns for in-state elections.
Yeah, and that would be good. It should be they should be representatives of the people. I've gotten things, and typically, and it's both parties. I've gotten it from rhinos that it's all about what a bad guy. You remember Bill Eigel, who is a great conservative, and they just trashed him in the last few weeks before the election, before the primary. And you read these things, you look all over these fancy glossy mailings that you're getting every day, and way up in the corner in about a number 6 font that you can barely read without a magnifying glass, it says paid for by this group out of Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and so people in Arlington, the DC swamp is picking the Missouri governor.
It's as much as like being able to vote for Missouri people, the people that get elected, and I'm sure that happens too, where they have a lot of phony votes going in as well. Anyways, what are your thoughts on tariffs? It looks like the one in China. Look at that. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, this is a terrible thing for America, horrible thing." But it looks like the one in China, which up until very recent, we're saying we're not going to do anything. You're not going to get that. They signed it. They signed a deal.
I'm going to draw a parallel here, and maybe I can get JP to hold up my book again. But I'm going to draw a parallel here, because when we play totally defensively on the political scene, and the opposition just does whatever they want, they win. That's what Saul Alinsky was all about. Okay. Yeah. Now let's take this back to the tariffs. Are tariffs a good thing? If we could just magically wave a wand, like Obama says, and just get rid of all tariffs, and there's no tariffs anywhere, we might be doing better off. We might have freer trade. You know what? That's not reality. And it's worse than stupidity to like Rand Paul to say, well, we just aren't going to do tariffs. It's worse than stupidity. It's criminal complicity, because every foreign country out there says, well, if the United States isn't going to do tariffs on us, we can leverage ourselves against the United States by putting tariffs on them.
On things. You can put taxes on things.
One way or another.
Anything or the other. Right.
One way or another, if we sit back and play stupid, they're going to leverage themselves against us. And what Trump said,
what did Trump do when they said we're not going to do anything? He put 145% tariff on China. Okay,
and who got hurt by that?
China.
Did your wallet suddenly fall apart and go empty on you, or did China suddenly watch its economy crash?
And then they asked him later on, just recently, Have you considered taking down the 145% tariff? He said, no. Okay, this is from a journalist. No.
He's dealing from a position of strength.
Bingo.
He's doing this. What's in the best interest?
This guy, he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
and he's a master of this.
And so, in the long run, the United States right now is now much better positioned economically against the rest of the world than it was just 4 months ago. Okay. Yeah. Now, have we seen all those things recouped? Have we seen the stock market come back? No, we haven't. The number one reason the stock market hasn't fully recovered is because every time it starts looking good, the Democrats and the rhinos come up with some excuse to scaremonger a little bit and drive it back down. But the general trend is going up. You cannot stop a burgeoning economy from boosting the stock market. You can slow it down on a sporadic basis, but you can't stop it.
You know what the market is today? I think it's actually set a record. I think it is back. I'm pretty sure.
It's going way up. I don't think we've broken the record of what we were at just a few months ago, but it is going up. And again, it's not just a little spike. They talk happy one day, it spikes up. They talk sad the next day, it spikes down. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a trend that's going up.
Well,
so
America. That's the whole thing, is the trend. The trend is your friend, as they say, the stock. I don't know if you can see this in here. Stocks since it started has been going like this. But if you notice my hand, it keeps on going up.
Exactly.
After it drops, and it's never. I mean, it's at the highest, about the highest, if it isn't the highest.
It's getting close.
Ever been. And if you're particular about the stocks, I don't know. I mean, you could buy stuff, and not everything I did worked, but who cares? I mean, I stocks that have gone through the roof, and you can only lose, if you're buying, you can only lose 100% of the value of the stock. And the other end is when something goes up, it has no barrier to stop it.
Right. No. We would be right now, the stock market would be way past where it is were it not for all the Democrat and rhino fear mongering. Okay. So, but again, those things, they'll stall it for a bit, but they can't stop. As you move your hand up, they can't stop it in the long run. And this is what America needs to understand.
America needs to understand, and I think they understand it now under Trump.
They're getting it. Yeah.
That they're getting that little patience goes a long way. Way.
Let me give you.
Yes.
Patience, perseverance, diligent, and here's the thing, Dave: commitment to principle. It's the right thing to do. We're going to stick with it. That's what Dave Hardwick was talking about this morning. It's the right thing to do. We're not going to just sit there and say, "Oh, you know what? This is going to get messy." Bill Hardwick. I'm sorry. We're not just going to say this is going to get messy. I'm going to run from it. I'm going to go over here and stay on the politically safe.
We'll try to make a deal. We'll try to make a deal.
We're going to take on the difficult battles.
Some of the worst words you've heard in Congress. We need to make a deal.
And the deal benefits them, and it puts the screws to you and me.
Yeah, exactly. Then they're not good deal makers.
Well, they're good deal makers for their own interest. But I mean, look at every congressman and senator out there that's in the stock market. Their portfolios are up in the hundreds of millions. Yeah, you and I try that, and it's insider trading.
Genius, for goodness sakes. They're talking about all the stocks you just bought recently, and it went up like 30%.
Yeah,
in 2 days, like she didn't know. Yeah. So anyway,
exactly. I don't know if you remember Hillary's cattle futures deal, where she turned $1,000 into $100,000 in 1 year. What that's actually called.
That's a long time ago, by the way.
That was in the 90s. That was while she was first lady. That's called either economic super genius or a bribe. I'll give you a hint which one you think that was.
Of course it was a bribe. She didn't know anything about it. Knew nothing about it. So what are the here's a DEI question. What are the real and potential disasters in air traffic control if one follows the DEI rules?
You're not getting the best people in those positions.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. There's a flip side of the DEI thing, which actually, if the common citizen could figure this out, if you're a minority, the leftists are saying, well, you need DEI to get a job because you're too stupid to actually qualify on your own merits. Okay. If you're a woman, you're actually a second-class citizen. So you need DEI to get you a job because you're not as good of a worker as that guy there. And so therefore we're going to give you a little extra help because you just can't do it. Okay. It's actually, DEI is actually contempt for the very people that they claim that they're trying to help. And the idea is to create as many people as possible across the country who view themselves in their hearts as inept, incompetent victims that need the Democrats in order to just get a job.
Now, maybe if you're working as a street cleaner or something like that, you can get worked with. But if you're air trafficking control, it's a little different. You got to know what you're doing, for God's sakes. Don't you?
We need to get the most qualified people in those spots. Anything less, and you're playing with human lives.
And we're watching it happen every day now, where they don't have enough of these air controllers to make sure that these planes know what the hell to do. They're out there by themselves trying to figure it out. The pilots while they're flying passengers.
And that's dangerous, and it's unnecessary. You play a game with a thing like that, and you are guilty of risking innocent lives.
Yes, that's right. Other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find your book and your columns?
Okay, well, I haven't been writing a lot lately, and I probably should get back into that. But my book is available at Amazon. It's just you do a search on either my name, Christopher Adamo, or Rules for Defeating Radicals. And it's still available at Amazon. And I'm going to tell you, I say this every week. It sounds a little bit like a broken record at this point, but it's still true. There are too many people on our side who are still fighting a defensive fight because they're told that's all they're allowed to do. They need to understand how the enemy is manipulating us and how to fight effectively to win. And so you still need to read this book.
You need to be on offense. If they're going to call you a liar, a cheat, and all that, and that's going to bother you, then don't go into politics, okay? Because that's going to happen.
We need fighters and warriors.
We need fighters. We need warriors. We need people who aren't going to back down, and that's what we have as a president right now. That's Donald J. Trump.
And my book will equip the.
Did you know he's a golfer?
This sounds like it's happening.
I knew a golfer who was so unlucky that when they went to bury him, he lipped out. He doesn't know what the hell that is. Like, apparently you've never played golf.
Can I take a mulligan on this? No, I don't want a mulligan because I don't want another joke.
Oh my God, you do have a sense of humor. Thank you, God. I've been praying this man would get a sense of humor, and he's got one. Congratulations. Give one more applause. I'll pay extra for that. All right. Shut it down. Okay.
Have a great weekend. God bless.
Yes. And hello to the wife, Tia.
I will tell her.
Right? Yes. All right. Take care, pal.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That was a good interview with Chris Adamo. Am I losing my voice or what? Can you tell that my voice is a little different, a little off?
No, but have a cough drop.
I will.
Okay.
I will. By the way, I am wearing a new pair of glasses, okay? And I don't want to mess around with everything, but I got these after a 15-year wait of not going to the eye doctor. And here's my old pair of glasses. All right? I brought them with me, and I'm wearing these, and they're fine. They're probably somewhat of an improvement. But I don't know. I can see all the bags under my eyes. So when I do this, and I put these on, well.
So you're putting vanity before function?
I'm actually yes. but I see almost the same. They said this in the office, and it hides all the little bags. And I've got to get rid of the bags under my eye. Anybody have a solution? I'm not cutting my eye out.
Say plastic surgery.
Plastic surgery? Hell no. Are you out of your mind? Okay, you know what? Can you get a close-up of me? What, you're afraid to give me a close-up?
Oh, good grief.
Okay, so this is my old glasses, and then these are my new glasses. I'm going to wear my new glasses the whole time.
Yeah, you should try them out.
Yeah, they are a little bit better.
You can probably see.
I can see better, so fine. I'll stay with these. But look at those bags under my eyes. It's because my wife keeps me up all night. Anyhow, let's go to we don't have anything at 10. That's good. Hey, call the show. I can talk. 573-578-2700. And, or
you can also reach out to us on Facebook, X, YouTube, not Rumble at the moment. The show will be posted there after the show because the live streaming is not working, but Hopefully it gets functional again next week.
All right. So have we done commercials?
We've done a second set.
All right, we're going to do a second set of commercials, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff. I got some great clips we can play, and we got a great interview coming up with Jeff Zink. This is going to be this could be a bell ringer. All right, you're going to hear some scoops, I believe, and it has to do with the 1-6 debacle, and it also has to do with a little bit of his HHS escapade. I mean, this guy has news on a lot of areas, and I actually worked with AI to do this interview with him, so that's going to happen in about an hour. Or no, it's going to happen
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. Right. All right. So just like I said, 30 minutes. Yes. All right. So buy stuff from the people that are on these commercials. Please hit it.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we are committed to providing exceptional service to our customers. We do more than just provide loans for our community. We help make dreams become reality. Whether it's a new home, farm, business, or a new car, we would love the opportunity to help. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly lending team remind you how special hometown banking can be. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Good evening, Ahmed. Good evening. Infidel. So you're a terrorist? Yes, I am the terrorist. What kind of...
All right, we're gonna stop this for a moment because it's got a video too. This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Okay, not that one, but okay, that's funny too. But we're gonna do a little setup before that. But let's talk about some other interesting things. Bill Maher, he is telling the Gen Zs to get rid of stupid ideas from Hamas. Okay? So don't let these idiots, who most of them are not even there anymore, they're dead. And why are they dead? Because they went and killed 1,300 innocent Israelis in one day with no notice, no nothing. That includes babies, old people, young people, and they beat them after they were dead. What would you do? What would you do if they did that to America? You'd destroy them until they either came and begged you for their lives and sued for a full ceasefire and promised to never do it again and would actually be somewhat controlled. Like we sent troops to Germany after the World War II. We sent them to Japan. And everything seems to be working these days, isn't it? All right, go with this. Hit it.
Good evening, Ahmed. Good evening. Infidel. So you're a terrorist? Yes, I am the terrorist. What kind of terrorist? A terrifying terrorist. Are you scared? Not really, no. And no? Not really, no. How about now? No? God damn it. I mean, Allah, damn it. Silence! I kill you! So, Ahmed, no, is Ahmed. That's what I said. No, you said Ahmed. Is Ahmed. Silence! I kill you! How do you spell it? What? How do you spell your name? Oh, let's see. A C Slim. Silence! I kill you! So, Ahmed, if you're a terrorist, I would suppose you have some sort of specialty. Yes, I am the suicide bomber. So you're finished. What? You've done your job. No, I haven't. But you're dead. No, I'm not. I feel fine. But you're all bone. It's a flesh wound. Silence! I kill you! What the hell happened to my feet? Son of a bitch! What the hell? Oh, wait a minute! What the hell? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop touching me! I kill you! All right, just hold on. We'll fix this. Okay, wait. What are you doing? Holy crap! I'm in the air. Wait. Wait, something is backwards. Holy crap! I need some ligaments. Just sit still. Okay. I will not move my ass. You idiot! You don't have an ass. Is that Walter? Yeah. He scares the crap out of me. Please do not put me back in the same suitcase. Why? He has gas. Saddam's mustard gas was nothing compared to our Walter Ford. It's not funny. He will kill us. All right, listen, Ahmed, I have something to tell you. What? You really are dead. Are you sure? Yes. I just got my flu shot. You really are dead. Wait, if I'm dead, that means I get my 72 virgins. Are you my virgins? I hope not. Why? There's a bunch of ugly-ass guys out there. If this is paradise, I've been screwed. Well, did they say it would be only female virgins? Holy crap!
Okay, if you're not laughing, you're not. Check your breath intake and outtake. Okay, I mean, come on. Now that's funny. Okay, people say, "Well, where's the laughter in this show?" I got plenty of funny stuff, and you know what?
I've been listening to Jeff Dunham off and on he's been doing this for quite a while.
Yes.
And especially if you ever hear that full spit he does with Walter.
Yeah.
He looks just like Joe Biden.
Exactly.
And it's hilarious. He's the crabby old guy.
Intentional.
No. He had him before Biden became president. President, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. All right, well, now we're on a roll. Let's before Jeff comes on, let's make sure we're going to play the other one with Steve Martin. Remember? All right. Yeah. Pull that on. We'll have a really funny last 45 minutes here. So the libs now know, everybody knows that Biden had, his brain was gone. He was brain dead. The staff and the MSM agreed, but they lied about it. They all lied about it. They all were a cabal of keeping this guy away from situations where he would naturally screw up real bad, forgetting names and forgetting where he was, forgetting who he was. So, okay, we'll do this in a second. So that now there's books out there that reveal what the liberals wanted. That they wanted a wheelchair. Some of his people wanted him to go around in a wheelchair, but that was killed off. So they're all talking about how they didn't realize how sick he was. That's crap, pure utter crap. They are actually, if you go back to the 2020 election, he was prevented from campaigning, and you have to wonder about the results of that. Not that hasn't worked out for Trump, but the election, in my opinion, was stolen. In Jeff Zink's opinion, who's coming up next, in his concept of it, he is a election examiner of forensic audits of elections. He's done them all over the country, including Arizona, where it's proven there that their elections were stolen. All right, so this time, when they started stealing this time around, they had people on it right then. They had courts, they had judges, they stopped it, especially in Pennsylvania. So Trump won all the swing states. Guess what? Because he was allowed to. And I would say they probably still stole another 3 million from him. So he probably ended up with about 80 million votes for him. Okay? Anyhow, we're going to play now another funny thing. So let's hit it.
I remember one night many years ago, Paul called me. It was in the evening, and he said, "Steve, I'm so excited. I've just finished a new song, and I just have to tell somebody." And I said, "Oh, great. What's the title?" And he said, 47 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And I said, "Paul, what if it were 50? 50 ways to leave your lover." And there was a long pause. And he said, "Go on." And I said, "Well, 50 has a nice ring to it, and 47 sounds a little awkward." And he said, "But, I've got 47. I can't think of any more." And I said, "Make a new plan, Stan." And he said, 48. He said, "Don't need to be coy, Roy. Drop off the key, Lee." He said, "Okay, 50, great. Hey, thanks. And I'm sorry if I interrupted anything." I said, "Don't worry, I was just here cooking a chicken." And he said, "Oh, really? How are you preparing it?" And I said, "Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme." And now look it up.
Good stuff. Now, my wife is demanding to be, oh my goodness, look at him. He is early. But we're going to get this, we're going to squeeze this in, and we're going to get Jeff Zink in here.
Well, yeah, and we can ask Jeff for commentary afterwards.
All right,
well,
let me put him on, because
okay.
I don't think he's able to even listen to it yet. All right, so hold on. Let me find him. Okay, this man is he's a pure Division I football player and basketball ref. Expert on forensic audits of elections, a fighter to the end, and let's give a heartwarm for my friend Jeff Zink. Yeah, you're always my hero. My wife had some stuff first that she wants to get out there.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Lisa. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just read that it's breaking news that Trump's chemtrails task force exposed the DARPA plot to murder, sterilize, poison Americans. And apparently there were some whistleblowers that came out, and they're actually proving that this is no longer just a conspiracy theory, that they are actually trying to eliminate up to 170 million Americans. And they have discovered that is what is actually going on, and they're not just harmless chemtrails like everybody's been told forever, but they're actually manipulating our health to depopulate us and sterilize, and of course poison all the soil and the water and the and the air to also weaken us and eliminate us. So I just wondered if you had updates or commentary on that.
Oh, that's great. Great question.
Absolutely. One of the things is that Florida is heavily hit, and so is Arizona, Texas, and it's because they're trying to get the lower southern half, and they're doing it under the guise of, well, if we seed the clouds, then it will cause more rain, and it reflects the sunlight, and so there will be less sunlight, and it'll stop the global warming. This is the guys that they've been going after. What we found is that not only in the heavy fog in California, they started finding that they were going in and putting parasites in and viruses, and so it would stay active for a lot longer. All of this has now been uncovered, and it's something that, you know, everybody was saying, oh, you're dismissing, it's not true, it's a conspiracy and all of that. Well, now this is showing that there was intent. And the thing is that Doge is now looking at who was funding it. And we've got a pretty good idea who's funding it. It's George Soros, it's Bill Gates, it's the global elitist, a part of WHO, and they're trying to eliminate. And if you don't think that I'm got false information, then go to Bill Gates and go to TED Talks, and there is a place where he has 4 pillars, and one of those pillars is a P for population depletion, and he talks about eliminating people on the face of the earth. And so, you know, they do this out in front and open. People just don't listen or think that they're joking, but they're not. They're actually telling you exactly what they're going to do, and chemtrails is all part of it.
Was this part of the pandemic approach to killing off people?
Part of it, and that's what's coming out. And the thing is that unfortunately, you know, I was one of the they don't tell you about who comes in second place in any position. You know, Jim O'Neill's the one that's out on in the public eye. He's now going through confirmation. He's you know, having to go through the gauntlet. The problem is that he is a pro-vaxxer. He thinks that the vaccines are perfectly safe and fine, and that there's no issue, which is contrary to what Bobby Kennedy came out and said, we're going to look into the vaccines. And so, you know, unfortunately, you had the opposing sides, right? I'm a anti-vaxxer. I want to make sure that the science is correct, that we're going to, you know, support what is true science, because I'm tired of Fauciing everything up. This is something that we've got to stop and take a look at what is real science.
Why would a non-vaxxer like Robert F. Kennedy appoint a guy like this?
He doesn't have a say-so in his cabinet. So there's some things that are going on.
Who's assigning this guy's cabinet then?
Well, you know, there's people like Dale Bigtree. There's people like Callie Means, you know, who got his sister to be nominated for the let's see. Oh shoot. Now I'm drawing a blank on the position.
We'll leave the O shoot.
Surgeon General. And so by doing that,
and she had problems too, didn't she?
Well, she withdrew from her residency, so she didn't finish her residency, so that she could be board certified and go out and practice medicine and everything. She could, but she didn't.
Yeah.
And magically, she got a deal worth $57 million, and then she's just kind of been on this book tour with her brother, talking about how these vaccines and all this stuff. Well, what's really interesting is that if you go to Dr. Krauss, there's an interview that Callie asked that he not air until after January, which means that he got in and now it's aired. And basically, if you go and watch that video with Dr. Krauss and Callie Means, there's some very pointed questions that he's unable to answer, and he keeps trying to pin him down, and Callie just kind of tries to maneuver and not answer the question and stuff. So for me, you asked me a question, I'm going to give you a direct answer, and we're gonna move forward, because I'm not concerned about whether you like the answer or not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you truthfully what's going on.
I want the truth here. We like to think that we do the truth. I'm sure we make some mistakes, but we like the truth, and I think you know me well enough to know that's true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
the truth. Please.
Well, and that's the reason why. And so here's a shameless plug for all of those that are watching Dave. You need to support Dave's podcast, and the reason why is that he's able to get people like myself that are out there that are doing the work, that are trying to make sure that we make America healthy again, that we make America great again, and do the things that we're supposed to do. And without podcasts like Dave's, this is going to be something that people in the future, if we don't support these, then you only have the mainstream media, and we've already seen just how much they lie to you, tell you things, and try to misguide you. And so this is something that's very important. So I always try to put a shameless plug for Dave and let them know that they need to support you.
And that's why I appreciate you so much. That's why I call you a friend. For those in Branson, can you give us a brief history of your stint in politics and your son's Ryan's experiences with the 1-6ers?
Oh, absolutely. So I ran for Congress twice. So I'm former congressional candidate here in Arizona in Congressional District 3. I am a J6er along with my son. We went to January 6th. We didn't do anything wrong. And so I've got, so now we're going to have a big scoop. So we're going to end up having to spend a lot of time on J6 now, because my son won his appellate court. All right. This is not mainstream media stuff. This is not going out, but he won his case against Judge Boasberg. It was then sent back down to Judge Boasberg. My son had multiple motions that had been put in during his trials and stuff, in which he was ruled inappropriate, and the appellate court said that he had ruled inappropriately, meaning that Judge Boasberg did.
Yeah.
And so when it got sent back down, all we got was a one-line sentence, case dismissed.
Now,
Ryan is the only
judge.
Judge Boasberg put case dismissed. Ryan is the only J6er that does not have to have a pardon. He was never arrested, never convicted, never anything. His case was dismissed. However, here's how important this case is.
Yeah.
This morning, guess what Congress just announced?
What?
They have to release all video of Capitol grounds, and it's all because of my son's case, because that was one of the motions that he did not rule on, but because he closed his case, it automatically goes in his favor. So now every
Boasberg not know this?
Huh?
Did Boasberg not know this was going to happen?
Well, when you're taking on the president of the United States and you're trying to bring back MS-13 people and you're trying to keep the borders open.
Guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a nice guy at all. But when you are minded in towards destructing America, then somebody like Ryan is not really important. He already, said, well, he basically cost us a fortune in attorney fees and everything else and all of the things that they've done. But this case now being sent back to Boasberg and him dismissing my son's case has now opened up a whole can of worms now because Congress was forced to release that. We also have motions that FOIA requests, so they're going to have to open up all of the emails that went back and forth with all of the congressmen, senators, and the Capitol Police. All of these things, the motions there are now have been won in a court at the federal level, and now
this isn't just for Ryan. This is for all the 1-6ers, right?
Correct. This affects every one of the J6ers.
Oh. Is this out in the news yet?
No, nobody will pick it up. Nobody will cover it. So you're actually breaking the story first.
Breaking the story internationally, right here at the Dave Weinbaum Show, because of you. And this isn't the first time. I really appreciate it because I know it takes a lot of guts to do what you're doing, because you're fighting some heavy foes there. I know that. So,
well, the thing is that I don't look at it as anything more than what somebody else would do, hopefully. But the thing is that if they're willing to come after me and my family, they're willing to come after you.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that we know that they've gone after President Trump. Hell, they tried to assassinate him twice. They tried to impeach him twice. They've done everything they possibly can. And he said, it's not me that they're coming after. It's the American people. I'm just standing in the way. Well, I feel the same way. It's not me. It's the American people. We just, Ryan and I are just standing in the way, and we never sat down and compromised or pled a deal or anything else, and that's what made it different. And Ryan's case was the only.
Just yesterday, I don't know if you know this or not, but have you heard what happened with Comey? Jim Comey?
Yes.
Yeah. Here he is writing, putting stones in the sand that say 86-47.
Yes.
And saying, oh, well, look what I found on the beach. Well, that's obviously a threat to kill the president.
That's exactly right. And these death threats need to be addressed and need to be taken care of.
Sure. All right. Well. Now, one of your lawyers on your case is Mark McCluskey, also a friend and to this show and a constant. In fact, he was supposed to be on earlier, but I'm sure he's working his butt off with this, and he's working with another lawyer called Peter Tickton.
Correct.
And Tickton is a friend of Trump. I think he grew up with him, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, he went to high school at the military academy together, and he's known President Trump since they were in high school.
And was there a Roger Roots and a John from the John Pierce law involved?
Correct.
Yeah. Are they still involved?
Yes. In fact, Roger Root is now has broken away from John Pierce, and so he has slowly taken on Ryan's case, and then we've got Mark and Sidney Powell and Peter Tickton that are going to be able to take this, and we're going to take this all the way to Supreme Court. And the reason why is because Ryan's first, second, fourth, 10th. And 14th Amendments were all trampled on.
Yes.
And so the thing is that we need to sit down and make an example of the federal government and say, you can't do this to the American people. And so that's one of the reasons why it's just a little case, but that little case is impacting 1,600 cases, which are all of the J6ers.
No, it affects the whole country and with that the whole world.
Correct.
It's that big. Was Ryan? Was he pardoned?
He was pardoned, but did not accept it.
He did not accept it.
He didn't accept it.
Well, that's a big deal right there, because that actually tells you that when you get pardoned, sometimes they just fluff it off, and that's the result. But now you can, if he denied it, you can go anywhere.
Well, and we were worried that he was going to get rearrested and all of that, and they were going to try to make an example for this. However, when it finally came down and stuff, he printed it out. He printed it out that it had his name and everything, but he didn't. What he did was he said, the thing is that while I've got this certificate that says that I'm pardoned, I in the court of law, he said no, and so he was the only J6er that was allowed to go to the appellate court. And the reason why he was able to go to the appellate court, because they dismissed all of the pardoned people. They would not hear it. They said, you're pardoned. It doesn't matter. It's a moot point. And so, but they looked at Ryan's case and
they could have had a civil suit, but that's going to take a long time to get through the courts, right?
Well, this lays the foundation for a class action lawsuit.
Yes, amongst all of them.
Yes,
renewing all of their their before they took the poison pill of the pardons, right? That's a poison pill, because they gave you a pill that you can't act after that. Well, now this resurrects them, doesn't it?
Well, it pretty much does, because even though you've been pardoned, it's still it still goes back to what happened. And so we're now talking with Roger and M and making sure that we got over I's dotted or T's crossed, and making sure that's going and it's moving forward. And and as we move up into the federal judicial system again, that we've gained a lot of power out of Ryan winning, and having his case dismissed. So because he's a free man, they cannot ever attach anything to him.
Yeah.
Now, because of that being dismissed, he's been literally found innocent. And so these are now that, and so now what happened to him? And so we're going to be looking at the evidence, which is starting with the fruit of the poisonous tree. We're going to go back to the tree itself, and we're going to start moving forward. And as we move forward, all 1,600 J6ers will also be a part of as that's moving forward.
So in this case now, you can't just go straight to the Supreme Court. You got to sort of start over, but you got all your things in line that you can do this, and they have to accept the case and rule on it. Is that right?
Well, no, I mean, the Supreme Court never has to. They can say no, this is not something that they're going to accept. The thing is that I think that, and what we're hoping is that it's enough, because we have proven judicial misconduct. We have proven prosecutorial misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
We've proven Brady violations. We've proven that we have Capitol police officers that perjured themselves on the stand. So
which could involve whoever was in government that told them that to do that.
And again, we're going to be looking at all of that aspect. But the thing is that one of these could go and be ruled on, and has been ruled on. But the thing is that we haven't had a case where it was so egregious,
Right.
and we also can prove that it was politically motivated, because you have me that was never arrested and never convicted, okay, and Ryan, who was with me 100% of the time, was and weaponized against my campaign. And so the thing is that we have all of those components. So we have 5 components that I just listed off that are egregious in themselves, but we have this all wrapped up in one case.
Wow. Okay, so what happens to Boasberg? Does he get called in as a witness?
Yeah, we're probably going to see if we can't pull him in, and he'll have to do that. So we're still waiting on and looking at a lot of how that's going to be played out. So we're going to keep the cards close to our vest.
Personally?
That what?
Can you sue this bastard personally?
Ryan will be able to.
Oh God! This is getting better and better. So, so how's the search for evidence, for witnesses, for hearing tapes of trial documents? So that's what's happening right now. Is that correct? And how
Correct.
long is that going to take?
I have no idea. There's not going to. I know that they're not going to rush this. They're going to make sure that everything is put in place.
Right.
So when it finally does come, what we want to do is make sure that there's nothing left to chance, that they can't, they can dismiss it and say, well, this technicality. We're going to make sure that, and that's the reason why we're bringing so many great minds in on this to think through what is the best approach, how should we do this, and so it affects everybody.
Well, when this happens, I think I want to go to DC and witness it if it goes to the Supreme Court, and look up my old friend Judge Thomas. Okay.
Yeah.
In his office, we had a nice discussion in 1993. All right. How many years ago is that anyways? That's like 32 years. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, 30.
Gosh, you were barely a teenager at that time, huh?
You know what? I was still old guy. I was like, what was I? Let's see, 48. I was about 50, I think.
Is the room getting smoky? Is there something,
The room?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, well, you were just burning so much wood trying to think through all that. I was just.
What do you know about funny? Play Eddie Murphy quick.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?
There you go. You know who that is, right, Eddie Murphy? So this is, you're gonna break the whole thing probably, even if you don't win, and I hope to God you win, you're gonna change this whole country with this, because everybody's gonna see it. All the lying bastards in the Democrat Party who are responsible for this.
Well, the great thing is we got a president right now that's going across the world and uniting people together. And if people don't understand that our president is the leader of not just this country but multiple countries, the thing is that my father told me about getting to see a supreme commander in World War II. And they had British troops, they had, all these different countries and everything else. When that when that general walked in, All of them went to attention. All of them saluted him, and when he saluted back and stuff. What's really interesting is if people are not understanding and witnessing what's taking place, the media right now is going, oh, I can't believe that he would be saluting these other countries' generals and leaders and stuff like that. No, he didn't salute them. They saluted him, and he saluted back. They gave him the courtesy of the position that he is upholding. And we have a leader.
The respect they have for this guy.
That's right. And the thing is that so when he sits down with Putin and little Zelensky and stuff, he's going to tell, because he's already kicked out Zelensky out of the White House and said, you're not welcome back because of your behavior and stuff. And oh, by the way, why don't you get out of a jogging suit and come around me and actually be presentable. And so the thing is that we sit down and we look at this. Well, when they come together and he negotiates the deal that's going to eradicate this war and stop this and stuff, people are going to be amazed at how he's able to do that. Well, here's the thing. Behind closed doors, you're not going to have what Zelensky did, which was he tried to do behind closed doors out in front of the media.
Yeah.
And stuff. Well, that doesn't work. And so now behind closed doors, he's going to sit down and he's going to say, okay, here's what's about to happen. One, you don't have any more funding from the United States. We're not going to support that. We're going to support Russia, and Russia's going to come in and it's going to change the dynamics of everything. So you have the opportunity to keep your country, go away and stop making trouble for everybody, or we will, basically work with you, and you're going to be left with whatever Putin decides.
Yeah, and you're going to be responsible for the $300 billion that we gave you and where it all went.
Correct.
Yeah. So, all right. So, government and Biden's DOJ, they did set up the 1/6 debacle, didn't they?
They did. And in fact, it has now been already released that with all of the different things that are coming out, that we did have foreign entities on Capitol ground. So we were being invaded by foreign countries. We had operatives that were on the ground with all the three-letter agencies.
You're talking
all
about
of this is
1/6 spot, right?
correct.
Yes, they were there. Who were there? Can you name them? Who were there?
Well, we got the FBI, we know for sure. We got the CIA, we know for sure.
Yeah.
We know we had Ukrainian special forces. We now know that for sure, which is one of the reasons why they came after Ryan's, because he took pictures of them and had pictures of them. And so
did he get it back?
No, he still hasn't. We put in or he put in a claim to try to get it, but it still hasn't happened yet.
Okay, well, I don't know what else to ask you other than what you got. Anything else you want to tell me? Any other scoops? Wow, you're a scoop machine.
Well,
I mean,
and
what's
that's
going
one
to
of the
happen to
reasons.
you? What's going to happen to you?
Well, what's really interesting is that I am now looking for another position at a company. And the thing is that you and I've got to talk, because you own a couple of McDonald's and stuff there in Missouri and stuff. And so talking about Missouri and Josh Hawley.
Yeah.
One of the things that was very interesting is the fact that he had a lobbyist in front of him in his court that he went back and forth with. And he said, how is it that 23 pharmacies have went belly up in Missouri? I have 2 towns in Missouri that doesn't have a pharmacy in the town. They have to go out of their town just to go get their drugs. How is it that an insurance company owns a pharmaceutical company owns an insurance company, which owns the pharmacies and stuff? How is that not a monopoly? How is that you're not able to do this? He goes, let me ask you, who's getting screwed here? And the guy was just backpedaling and everything else, and he was so on point. He goes, you made $7.3 billion in profit last year, did you not? And he goes, well, you know, and he goes, no, we have the numbers. The numbers are here. That's what we've got.
Was this in court?
Hmm?
Was this in not court, but was this in a hearing?
In a Senate hearing, yes, in his Senate hearing, and stuff. And so one of the things that he brought to light were, he goes, how is it that the PBMs, all right, and for y'all that don't know that's pharmaceutical broker managers, and so they are supposed to broker deals with pharmaceutical companies. And they get the price there, and then you would think that they're supposed to negotiate which way. Which way do you think that they should negotiate after they've talked with the pharmaceutical companies, and they're going out to the pharmacies and to the doctors and all of these that are going to be writing the scripts and doing all this stuff, and then this drug is going to be distributed? What do you think a PBM would do? Would they negotiate up in price or lower in price?
Well, they negotiate. I don't know. I mean, up in price. They're going to up their prices.
They're going to up their price because that's where their salary comes from.
Yeah.
So they go to the pharmaceutical companies, and what they do is they say, okay, what price are you going to sell this at? And then they go out to all the hospitals and all the pharmaceuticals and everybody in the United States, and 80% of the profits come off of 4% of the population globally.
Wow.
And that's the United States. And they negotiate higher prices for these pharmaceuticals that are being given to the American people, and they make the 80% of their profits off of the American people. And so one of the things that President Trump did in his executive order was to eliminate PBMs. Well, the other thing too is that when I talked with Bobby Kennedy, when he came to Phoenix, which was really sad because he has a lot of people that are around him that blocked me from seeing him. But I told him, I said, I have a plan that would save the American people $88 billion, okay, in pharmaceutical cost. I have $800 billion that can be saved in surgical costs across the United States. And then I have $1 trillion that can be saved in health insurance, because I have a health insurance company that I've been working with that was revolutionized how the insurance company is going to be performing. And it does away with Obamacare. It gives people lower premiums and higher benefits. And we also are able to go in and do things like cure cancer and do all the other things and make people healthy again. And so these are some of the things that I've been working on, along with working with, and this is a deal that Bobby Kennedy came out with, which is farm to educational tables. Now, I sent him that a while back and stuff, and so they're doing it. But the problem is that they don't have the person who came up with the idea and how to do this. They're still trying to figure it out.
Which would be you.
Yeah, I'm the guy that's already figured it out and have it, and we already have it in place.
So what do you think of Bobby Kennedy so far?
Bobby, I think his heart is in the right place, and that he is doing what he can. I think the people he's surrounded himself with, like Stephanie Spear, she hates Trump. She's a never Trumper. She is somebody who is out to get Trump, and so she does everything. Huh?
Trump know this?
Well, I'm hoping that he does now, because I've alerted his staff.
Yeah.
So
his staff seems trustworthy. I don't know. Are they?
Well, I know that we need to sit down and pray for them and pray for clarification and pray that you do the right thing, because there's a lot of pressure being placed on people from the pharmaceutical companies. Remember, those lobbyists carry a lot of power, but they also carry more than power. They carry a lot of suitcases with a lot of money that they can set underneath your desk and walk off, and then you're a much richer person. The only problem is that now you've entangled, and we know that. And Cassidy is exactly a great example of it.
Yeah.
Senator Cassidy came out and he stated that he was going to help rein in Bobby because he was going to go after the vaccines and all of this other stuff. Well, Cassidy is bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical companies. And so it's these type of people that we have to get ousted. And President Trump has vowed that he's going to have somebody primary him and get him out.
You say I have comments. Where?
You have comments up here from several people.
Where?
Some of them I think are for
okay.
Jeff's conversation.
All right. Anita Carter Cook, trying to kill us one day at a time.
That is correct.
Okay, Barry Oldrow. He's not talking them into anything. He's just treating them right, respecting their culture, and not trying to make them like us. All other presidents tried nation building and telling them to give up their identity and culture and be like us. No wonder they all hate us.
Right.
I'm not understanding what they're saying.
So what he's actually stating here is that all of the presidents in the past have come in and said, you need to adopt the American way. Well, I'm sorry, but the Arabians and Saudis are not going to adopt the American way. They want to adopt their way. And when you walk in and you take over a country like Iran or Iraq, and you force our ways onto them, then they're going to hate us for that. And he's exactly right. That's why we've got to have a leader that says, we want to work with you. We don't want to work against you. We want you to have your culture, your ideas, and what your dreams are, because your dreams aren't the American dreams. Your dreams are the Iraqi dreams or the Saudi dreams or whatever country you're in. Let them have their dreams as long as they're peaceful and they get along. Then why do we suppress that? But the American come in and they try to suppress other people's cultures and ideas.
Okay, so do we have anything else that's new? Yeah. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a blessed weekend. Love to everyone here. That's from Kathy Sanford Dillon, the author of Happy Friday. Danny Mayer Jr. would be radical. It would be radical to address treason and sedition.
No, it's not radical. It's exactly what we're going to be doing once President Trump has this and has all of their ducks in a row. There's a reason why Dan Bongino's where he's at, where Kash Patel's where he's at, where Tulsi Gabbard, where she's at. The thing is that they're in place. Why we have Pam Bondi there, because what they're doing is they're making sure and solidifying what's happening. When this is pulled, this trigger is pulled, and everything else, treason and sedition is going to be on the table.
All right. Well, that just about shuts us down. We got only a couple minutes left. Other than the Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find you and contribute?
Well, contribute to Ryan Zink. Go to giftsendgo.com/Ryan Zink and support him. This is costing us. The attorney fees are astronomical. They're still gaining because we won this case, meaning that we're now moving forward. And so it's going to be another cost there, and trying to get the word out. So if people can, talk to their friends and stuff, and $5 from 500 people is a lot of money, and it adds up over time. but we have to have the word of mouth. And the mainstream media is not going to cover this. Nobody else is going to cover it. We've got to have people like yourself. That's the reason why I say support Dave podcast, because you wouldn't have this type of information coming to you that's so cutting edge.
You ought to try Fox News too, Fox and or Newsmax.
Well, we're going to try and talk to Tucker. I'm in the process of talking with him and stuff, and we're going to try to see if we can't get Ryan on Tucker so that he can exploit this and get this out nationally.
What do you call a cow with no legs?
A non-mover?
No, ground beef.
Ground beef. All right.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Zink. Good luck, my friend. Stay in touch.
Right. Thank you.
Stay in touch. Great appearance. All right. Thank you so much. We're getting down to the last 30 seconds or so, it looks like. Yeah, all righty. And I love this show. I hope you like the show too. And we broke a lot of news today, gang. This is national news from a little place in Missouri, Rolla, Missouri, and we broke it.
And state news.
And state news as well. Yes. All right. This is great. My lovely wife did a great job. JP over there was great. JJ over there was great. Listen, you have a great weekend. My grandson's playing in the Nationals almost. Anyways, I'll be back with another story next week. Bye-bye.